Crusaders spew their hate. Lies unfold before our ears. Podcast rage to calm our fears. Reclaim gaming and Dragoncast. Fire breathing wine, screaming loud. Lavistro's here to shake the crowd. Psychotic dragon ready to ignite. Hold on tight, we're taking flight. Dragoncast. Worlds clash in endless collision. Gaming news with a fierce precision. With a spark so wild it breaks the norm. In the tempest eye, a face the score. Truth burns with a psychotic roar. Corrupt suits sneer what they despise. Dragoncast will open your eyes. Integrity found in Dragoncast. Fire breathing metal, screaming loud. Lavistro's here to shake the crowd. Psychotic dragon ready to ignite. Hold on tight, we're taking flight. Dragoncast. Dragoncast. Of justice cut through the dark. Lavistro's roar ignites the spark. A dragon's heart fiercely defends the gaming world. Our passion ascends. This is Dragoncast. Dragoncast.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Dragoncast. Unfortunately, Bo is still on his hiatus, and Dash is with family tonight, so it's just me and the lovely Sunkermaidens here. But before I introduce her, I'm going to go ahead and do something that I usually do, which is saying hello to everyone in chat. Hello, Kira Winter. Hello, Buddha Time and Skal. And yes, he is a part of the Red Church crew on Friday nights, so you'll be seeing him. We'll be playing Jump Space next Friday, so he's there as well. Freedom Fire 76, hello, another loyal supporter. Been there since my older days when I was a PNG GIF file. Ultra TTRPG over on the Rumble side, hello. Good evening, he says. Neon Earth, Pure Gaming Stream Saturday Chill Vibes, yes. And Kyle Saber, the lead host for Phasmophobia, or actually we call it now Phas Inc., saying hello. He also knows Sunkermaidens, so that's a wonderful community. And yes, we have Sunkermaidens. Now, if you're strictly on YouTube, you probably don't know Sunkermaidens, but for those who are on Rumble, you probably do. So, Sunker, I forgot to tell you this disclaimer, but you probably already know. I speak for everyone in my audience here and everyone that's watching the replay or anyone clicking a thumbnail. Who the fuck are you? Why the fuck are you here? And why should my viewers care?
I'm an idiot on the internet. I'm here because you invited me. I'm not sure, but I'm gonna try my best to at least have a little bit of fun.
Yes. And that's the thing. I always ask that question because everyone has their own little way of saying it. I want it to be different. And you know me, I'm snarky. So, I figured I didn't really have to explain that in the chat before all this. But like normally Wednesdays I do the thumbnail and set this stuff up, but Rumble likes to be a pain in the butt. And then we had things that happen, which we may cover because there was an update on those things. But for everyone, as we all know, we strictly games here. But I'm going to say for background, I've known Sunker since the Geeks and Gamers tabletop era. She's the one who introduced me to the Common Nerd.
Mm-hmm.
Common Nerd was doing when Who Was Good, which I used to be so active in the chat, and now I just lurk because I should
You're
never have
busy. You
streamed.
got shit to do.
Yeah, I know. I should never have streamed, so I lurk now. But I feel bad that I don't get to chat much in Common Nerds streams anymore. But we've been playing almost just as long. We've been playing a D&D game together with Brian the Dungeon Master, who was also on here at one point in time. So, yes, but Sunker, I don't think you've watched a lot of Dragoncast, but in case, but I did tell you this is an interview based on who you are and your journey in gaming. So, I think we could start off with you call yourself SunkerMaiden, but we also know you're Serenity Witches, Sunker Witches, and hence the title's name Witch. So, what's with the reference? Are you Wiccan?
So I was a huge edgelord and a huge idiot when I was when I first made my YouTube, which I don't really go on there as much anymore. I didn't even post anything on there. I was just using it to talk shit all the time.
And there's the final member of the fellowship. But I'm sorry to interrupt, but there's Shadowborn, the other person.
Hey, Papa Swole.
And scene. But yeah, sorry, go ahead, continue.
No worries. So to cut it short, it was a whole thing of retardation where Serenity, I believe the Serenity movie had come out relatively around that same time or a little bit after. So I was like, oh, that's really cool. Serenity is an awesome name. And 2, because of duality and I'm deep. And then Witches, because I really like Bullet Witch. It's a Devil May Cry ripoff, and that's where the name came from.
So it's not because you're a Wiccan. I mean, I personally know you're not. But
oh no. Nothing against that faith, but no, I'm a fucking Catholic. I'm a Catholic that needs to get back to church. But yeah. So no, I'm not a witch. And
I know. I'm actually, when I wake up on Sundays, I'm like, it's like most people that go on Saturday nights. There's people that go to bars on Saturday nights, and there's me, and we have one thing in common. Mm-hmm. In the afternoon of Sundays, we wake up and say, "Dear Lord, forgive me for not going to church. Forgive me for anything I may have said, whatever." Now I don't get drunk on stream, but it's been really hard to go to church, and with me having a kid, I'm trying to give him that religious background. So I end up having Bible study before I start doing things. But I'm things are starting to be less hectic in my life to where I can get back to church. I shouldn't be saying it like that, but
no, there's sometimes you've just got a lot on your load, and it's not feasible to go. Mm-hmm. But it is good that now that things are calming down that you are going just to reinvigorate your own faith. I get drunk enough for everyone. Hey.
Oh, that's scene for you. He literally he's another one of the gamers I stream with on Saturday, Friday nights. Like I said, we were having a show called Red Shirts, and he came with the idea. Right. But he gets drunk a lot on stream. He's from Britain.
Oh dear. So he still sounds posh, even though he's 3 sheets.
He sounds more like this, Gardner.
Oh dear.
Yeah, no, he's a good guy. I have gotten drunk, but not on stream. I think the last time I got drunk on stream was when Sunker actually heard my voice for the first time. She knows what I actually look like.
Oh, that's when that might have been in my early streaming when I was just getting hammered all the fucking time, because I was in a real bad place when I first started streaming, let me tell you. But no, like I think that's when I saw you get a bit plastered. Was on commentary.
Yeah, that was the first time my face was shown since a long time. And back then, it was like months before I started streaming. I wasn't even planning on streaming back then. I was like,
you're just chilling.
Well, for me, someone pissed me off, and you know how I get when I get pissed off.
You fixate a bit.
I don't fixate, but I don't think what I'm doing. I just it's all frontal lobe at that point
Yeah.
in time. Like Donald Duck, for example. And I was like, okay, you want to see, you don't want to you want to say there's no good games coming out? Okay, fine. I find Enshrouded, I start playing it, I flip the stream button, and I'm stuck. I can't get out of streaming.
How can you not get out of the stream, sir? Explain.
After Enshrouded was done, when I got done doing Enshrouded, I was like, okay, I'm done streaming. I'm not gonna do anymore. And people were like, Lavistro, you got any more? Are you gonna stream another game? Are you gonna stream another game? And then the first Senate came out, Mecha Break beta test came out, and then people started asking my opinion on certain things. So I started covering like PTSD and video games and all this other stuff. And I wasn't really planning on streaming. I just started streaming games because people wanted a place to chill from all the freaking drama.
Yeah, that's what I watched a lot of other people's videos, or when I watch LawTube and stuff. It's like all these gaming streams, all these other things, even if they're like not the most highest of quality, like Game Grumps or anything like that, they're an escape. They always, and I try to keep that in mind, like when I'm doing my thing as well.
Yeah, the last time I got drunk, in reference to what Val's saying, my son was at his mom's, which was a rare thing, and I wasn't streaming, so I decided to drink. I needed me time. I needed to unload, and I went to Hypnotic stream, which during that time period there was some drama on a Hypnotic thing, and me being a mod, I do my mod duties, which did not help the situation.
Oh no! Did you accidentally start banning people?
I didn't ban people. I just started muting people and stuff like that, and timing them out because they were going to cause some problems. And then they started doing the whole, well, more free speech, more free speech. It's like, you're breaking rules. You're breaking rules.
There are very certain rules that you have to follow in order to be on the platform, which is why I'm not saying a lot of the things I would say as I would on just a strictly Rumble channel.
Oh yeah, well, look, that's the thing about YouTube. So I know we're trying to do your interview here, but this is how things go.
You already warned me ahead of time. It's fine.
Yeah, but so people are talking about a 15-year-old program now on YouTube, restricted mode, and they're complaining about. I'm like, have you not read the rules of terms of service? Like when I started streaming, I didn't want a day one ban. We know how my mouth is. We know exactly. And even with our tabletop, when I play as Aaron,
you play it very nice.
I play it very nice, yes. Now I could play it mean, but back when we started, I was super nice compared to now. Once I got comfortable with the group, I was able to let things go. But I'm still trying to play very nice because I felt like I even said, it's like I'm feeling like he's become too much of an edgelord.
Yeah.
And he was. I was playing as that character, and I was like, I need to metagame him just a little.
I think when we had to kill someone with a bag, I think that was the darkest thing our party ever did. It was a Minecrafting
of a serial killer ghost dude,
of an ethereal like bad person who even if his corporeal form disintegrated, he would find another one. So we're like, we'll just send you off to the astral sea, and thus you cannot reborn into another body there.
Yeah, and it was funny. It's like, for those who like D&D memes, even though we didn't realize it at the time, it was literally Operation Handbag.
Yeah, that's what you called it. But that was the darkest thing we ever did in that game thus far, and that's even including, I believe, the Trials of the Frostmaiden, which is very much your character's time to shine.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like every time my character tries to do good, it turns evil. And this one time he does evil, it was actually a good thing.
It was the best thing ever. Like,
and he's all rocking it too. Because I told Brian, like, my character is probably like, if this was my character right now, he'd be super stoked. He's doing a whole I'm on cloud nine, and everything's coming up, Aaron, and he's like, I'm just gonna go walk up to these giant statue guardians and say, "Sup?" Only to get into a fight.
You got squished too, because I turned you into a spider thinking that would save you from the frost. And that did not. I am
And
sorry
I got
about
impaled.
that.
Oh no, that was fun. Dude, that's the lovely thing about D&D is the chance of the dice rolls and stuff like that. It changes things. Or even getting impaled and literally hanging on 1 HP with the I can never say those
Dragon?
evil
Drynar?
Dradar, those evil dwarfs, guys.
Oh, yeah, the ones that those dwarfs are such BS, by the way. Like we can shrink and grow. It's like,
Yeah,
hate
no,
it.
but I remember that one. That's when my tactics changed.
Yeah, that one was weird because that one was weird because
well, that's
we
fair.
had
But
a plan,
he's a necromancer.
and then immediately effed up the plan. We had a plan, effed it immediately, and then had to go over and deal with it. And then I turned a dwarf.
Thank you.
Dwagar. Then I turned a dwarf into a T-Rex, and it kind of worked out okay, even though she took a couple chomps out of us.
Shadowwarn, to be fair, Baz, our paladin back in the day, grave robbing would be the darkest thing ever. But for Aaron, that's literally Tuesday. That's literally.
No, I can see that. I actually, I wanted to make, not for this game, but in other games, I want to go over and make a necromancer who is basically the mortician. And she would have a very special set of jewelry and stuff, and she looked very Victorian. And little did you know, her jewelry was actually a body. So she could, like, in times when she didn't have her stuff, she could, like, pop everything off and then summon a skeleton.
Oh, you would have loved what's that game? There's a game that has a bunch of necromancer spells and stuff that would literally fit your character you're describing, because it's more called, it's D&D. It's a D&D supplement, third party, but it's
a Call of Cthulhu off-branch.
No, it's like it's inspired from Call of Cthulhu, but for D&D. I'll have to look it up for you, but it has some interesting spells, and then some that I know I would never touch for my character. Like, for example, Mind Eater, or something like that, where you literally devour the brains of a corpse. And I was like,
I'll eat your brains and gain your knowledge.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, no, that's no. I like classic necromancer. I don't need the edgelord.
It's hard to be a bad character, like an evil character, and still be likable and still have everything make sense as to why you're still in the party. And you've actually been playing Aaron very well in that regard. It's when you start working against the party, that's when it actually starts to become a bit of an issue, where it's just like, not you, but the general you, not you.
Yeah. Yeah. I know. Like,
but
playing evil characters is hard.
It's kind of like it's kind of like why the rogue doesn't steal. It's like, even though you're a rogue and you can steal from everyone, eventually their characters will be allowed to figure it out that you're stealing from them, and then a fight's going to happen, and then they're not going to heal your ass.
See, here's what's gonna happen if you steal from Aaron. He's just gonna tell Mo, Larry, and Curly, my skeletons, and I have 8 of them, to just treat you like a pincushion in your sleep. And
you don't know it was me.
Then he's gonna have a nice little brand new recruit for his undead army.
You didn't know it was me. How did you know I stole from you? I'm just sitting over here being very, very nice.
Exactly. But no, that's the thing I tell people is, like, I take the alignments very seriously, but I also write character bios to explain why my character's like that. Because when you play an evil character, you're being selfish. You can even do a chaotic evil character.
Yeah, you can
in a party. It's just you have to constantly balance the needs of the party.
Yes,
with how you want to play, and that's with everything.
That's when you have to metagame just a little bit in order to. Like, it's what my character would do. Yes, that is absolutely what your character would do. However, our characters would then have to start acting upon that. And that puts everyone in a situation no one wants.
Yeah, and the way I say it is I actually talked. This was back when I wanted to play, and I got kicked out of one group because they didn't like me playing, and I wasn't even an evil character at that time. It's just I didn't know how to play, and no one wanted me. No one wanted to give me pointers. So I talked to a DM one time offline. Like he wasn't my DM. I just asked like, how can I be a good character? He says, everyone has to understand that when we do the whole you meet at a tavern, that's the moment you're supposed to say why you're interested in being that, but what invests you in that party. You're all going for a common goal. And so I use that a lot. I'm like, okay, my character, he's a combat multiplier. He has that. Like if I played Aaron the way he's meant to be played, like didn't have to worry about party and everything, he would have a massive army of undead.
Well,
But we
in,
limit him to 8.
in accordance to the rules, you can only regain control of a certain amount of undeads. So you can, it's one spell slot to cover and raise them, and then it's one spell slot to maintain control after a certain amount of hours. So you say you can have an army. It may be, but it would eat up all your spell slots, and those spell slots are better used elsewhere.
It would. No, I agree. But there's also pearls of power, wondrous items. There's certain ways to get around it.
That's why I like playing short-sighted characters. That way, when I am an idiot and I don't look something up, well, because I didn't know, I overlooked it.
I do it. We do it to
I was thinking a cupcake.
All 8 of my skeletons are literally buffoons. so like Aaron having an army of buffoons, he would go mental.
Oh yeah. Well,
so he can only the lore is he can only handle 8 at a time.
Well, in a way, you kind of already want your character to go mental, given that you submitted to getting an insanity thing occurring with you.
Well, yeah, like the one of the tests, right? He was we had to do the isolation, and I told Brian, I was like, well, technically he lived in the wilds all by himself. He was raised up there, so this is home to him. Mm-hmm. So I was the only one in the party that did not have a
look, you only really survived was because I didn't have good survival. But no, I mean the fucking Eldritch God thing. That was that was just in the ice. And I was just like, I'm gonna walk through here now. And it's just like, after passing the check, I went back and just like, there's an evil Eldritch God thing. So of course, both of y'all go over and you failed that check. You failed on purpose.
Hey, I don't roll an actual dice and tell my DM. I rolled through the D&D Beyond. So D&D Beyond failed that one. No, it knows I'm not woke, so therefore it is trying its hardest to fail me on every roll.
No, I believe you did pass, but you chose to fail because you wanted to get a crazy thing.
Oh yeah, okay. It's been a while, but yeah.
Yeah.
but anyways, that brings up an excellent point because we've been talking tabletop. What got you into tabletop?
Well, a couple things. In ye olden, before Serenity 2 Witches or Sunkermaidens was even a glimmer in my eye, my older sister, had a boyfriend. And my older sister's boyfriend did DMing. So you always remember your first DM game. It never got finished. It was just me, my brother, and my sister's boyfriend going over and playing like 3 sessions of D&D. But I loved it. It was like make-believe. And it basically was. It was make-believe with rules. And I loved every part of that. I loved the idea of becoming a different character. I love becoming a different person and exploring what that did. And I tried to get that into other games, but I was also extremely introverted and antisocial. So even today, I was just like, I gotta do an interview. Usually, your talk is so interesting, but to have an interview go off without a hitch. So it would always be like one-shot games at max, or it would fall through very quickly, or we would try to go to text RP, and that was always a mistake. So it was basically just really wanting to do tabletop and just never being able to do a party, and looking at all the things like, you can go get a party if you go to here. I'm like, yeah, but here costs money. So
Yeah.
Moving on, then I started getting D&D games through proxy. I do enjoy, talking to people. Ew, dude, it took me a while to be this comfortable. I'm in my mid-30s. I was terrified to call people. I was that introverted.
Oh, I'm still that introverted. And then you add
I was
the
wondering
PTSD
why I had to
and
call the police so we could talk.
TBI. But yeah, no, I literally don't even like going out much.
Mm-hmm.
But I force myself because of my son.
Yeah, and
you're supposed to have some sort of human interaction. But my
yeah.
pea brain is like, I'm doing human interaction right now. I'm talking to a screen that looks like a person.
Yeah, sort of, kind of, arguably. But on the introverted thing, it just, being introverted is comfortable, but it's not always healthy. So it's good to go over and get out of it.
Yeah.
Just get out of your comfort space, just to break the monotony. Which is why I went on vacation that one time, which is why I didn't do an interview earlier, and that's why he didn't piss me off. And people who go over and said I pissed him off, he pissed me off. Fuck you. No, he didn't.
No.
But going back to the tabletops thing, I'll wrap it up because it's not that interesting. I started doing tabletop through proxy, and that's when I started watching Critical Role. Getting into Critical Role because of the shorts, and watching more and more of the shorts, just binging it and getting really into it and having a laugh, and then actually watching the full gameplay, because it helps to know that you're going to get a payoff eventually once you've watched the short, so you can kind of sit through some of the monotonous tabletop stuff. Sorry, I'm choking on my hair. So I started watching Critical Role, and then I fell out of love with Critical Role because of season 2, where everything felt so amazingly scripted. And it already started to feel a little scripted, and I don't mean that everything was pre-planned. It was just, they were kind of trying to set up for moments, and it just didn't feel right. Or it felt like it was trying to be more complex than just a simple-ass D&D game. It started feeling a little bit like that towards the later end of the first campaign, and then the second campaign, it was just overtly complicated, and it's like, oh my god, you're asking 8 chuckle fucks to carry on a political discussion about stuff. Like, can they just go off and slay some monsters? Oh no.
Exactly.
I guess not.
No, and then that, like, in a way, I think Critical Role kind of destroyed D&D.
Oh.
Because, just hear me out. It's because after a while, it stopped going into you face this dragon or you go for these dungeons. It started becoming more performative role play.
Yeah.
And people that are normies see that, like, oh, that's D&D. And now what do we have? We have 2 gay dwarves running a bakery. You can run a coffee shop. Like, don't get me wrong, those are nice supplements, but those should be like a side, like when the DM wants to break from doing all this stuff, and like our shopping episodes.
That's like when the DM wants to do that versus when you have a module demanding that you do that.
Yeah.
For Critical Role, I have a love-hate of it, because I loved the first campaign so much because it was so honest when it first started. And it did go over and help get a lot of people into D&D stuff. However, it did have that detriment of everyone expecting Matt Mercer when in reality your DM is Ted.
Yeah.
And Ted is a very good DM. He's not Matt Mercer because Ted is not a voice actor.
She's talking about
of
you,
many
Brian.
experience.
She's talking about you, just so you know.
Shut up.
No, Brian's a good dungeon master. But yeah,
He's
no,
an amazing dungeon master.
and then there are some that use the whole start playing thing and say, I'm a professional DM. This is a service for me. You're paying for a spot for my services. I'm like, yes and no. I don't have to come to your table. If I can't make it to your table, I'm sorry. I'd understand if it was a repeated pattern and you can't fill that slot, but the Dungeons and Dragons is not a career.
No, it's not. It's usually pocket. It's extra pocket money. It's moonlighting.
Yeah, exactly.
If you want to go over and get into something like that, it's very rare to be able to go over and make a living wage off of start playing, and that's kind of like how I would approach streaming in general as well. It's just anything you make off of streaming, that's pocket change, unless you're a huge movie streamer or something, or you have a thing that's linked to a whole bunch of merch. It's very rare to make certain things like this as a major
merch. That reminds me.
Merchandising?
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to grit out this. Why don't you...
Buy my book! Buy my book! Buy my book! Buy my book!
You have a book?
No.
Oh, okay.
You know who that is?
No, I was just laughing.
John
Oh my god, I gave him a perfect segue to sell his shit. Who was it?
John Della Rose.
Oh, I know the name. What did he do? That was
Gunnar Gate. He said Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 was Kiddo Prawn.
Oh, and
He's the owner of Fame and Pulse.
It was just a pretty simple way to avoid becoming gay.
Yeah, and I literally didn't know who he was, and people thought actually I should, so I researched him and found out he's a failed politician who's been gritting off of everybody, going from Trump
him
supporters.
And Anissa should go over and meet up. Anissa could probably give him some tips.
Yeah, he was totally sipped hard when Melanie Mack did her Gunnar thing.
God.
I
made
they're
a
all
screen making fun of that.
like I feel like I'm doing the whole conspiracy theory board thing, but like those two and Quarter Pounder, I can't forget his actual name. I call him Quarter Pounder.
Quarter Planet.
No, not Quarter Planet.
Love you, quartering. Love you, quartering. But you have to kind of clean up your act because you've been kind of slipping recently.
Yeah. No, I fell away from him a while back only because he sits 15 minutes to
he's
chill
low
his
energy.
coffee. Yeah. He used to be cool when he did his Magic the Gathering coverage. Like I won't lie. Like I used to follow him. I used to like him. But I don't know what he does now. It's just now lately he's been really cringe. In my view.
The quartering, some of the stuff I agreed with what he was saying. Other stuff, when I was watching some of his older stuff, I'm like, wait, are you being an apologist for this person? Why are you not condemning X, Y, and Z? This is actually something that is absolutely condemn worthy. And why are you saying this is them treating their super, super depraved thing? Like, no, that's weird. No. So he went over and would say little stuff like that. And I'm like, I don't. It's when you find logistical inconsistencies with someone, which is why when you try to be as genuine as possible whenever you're doing streaming or videos or anything, because once you lose that air of genuineness, you can't trust anything they're telling you. So that's kind of what happened to me when I was watching Quartering Once Upon a Time.
Yeah, and the thing is that we see that a lot happen. Like I'm pretty sure we'll disagree on certain content creators. But I like Geeks and Gamers, for example, but I feel like D-Day Cobra lost the plot a while back. So I don't follow D-Day Cobra, but I still like his Geeks and Gamers community. You know.
His Geeks and Gamers community is very, very nice. I find with him, his last major relevant thing, and that's actually when I started watching him, was when he was just reporting on the leaks, and they tried to go over and silence him and destroy his channel. And that was absolutely outrageous when that happened. And you're like, fuck fuck yeah, you fight him, Jeremy, yeah! And that was the last like major thing. I guess the next one was like, I guess Solo Lost Money was the next one. And
I what turned me out to him is when someone actually asked him in a super chat, "Can we stop covering Acolyte?" And I think that was last year. I think.
When someone asked him to stop covering Acolyte.
Yeah, it's like I'm tired of hearing about Acolyte every live stream. Could we find something? There's lots of things we can cover. He was just asking. He says, "No, he was literally talking down, like almost like."
Oh,
like,
he was
looked like
shaming
about
the other character, the other person. This wasn't even commenter. He was shaming fellow cast member.
This was in my personal, from my opinion, from what I've seen. Okay, because I was watching a live stream. It looked like he was about to lean over on his desk. Like he wasn't doing it, but the way his body posture was, like he was ready to pounce. Says, "No, we have to tell them these are bad. We have to tell these people this is bad." I was like, "You've already done."
Well, he runs a content house. He's about to go whoop his ass.
Yeah, like,
he's about to get up from the desk and beat him up.
He just wanted something new, something different. And it's like, you're going to go and chew out the person. You're literally going to bite the hand that feeds you. The guy that's giving you money to ask you to cover something else. He's giving you honest feedback. You could say,
well,
like when I asked the Common Nerd that, he says, because it generates views. I was like, well, at least you're honest about it.
Yeah, that's why he cares.
We're generating the views. We want the views.
Yeah, and that's the whole point of it. You want to go over and keep a steady. Sup, bro? Oh, news free. Right. But no, I absolutely understand that as well. And generally, from seeing things from both sides, don't overtly posture while you're on stream. But also, he should have asked in private, "Hey, can we cut back on it?"
Oh no, it was a super chat. It was from the crowd.
I mixed it up then. All right, so it's just a super chatter.
It was a super chatter. Someone who's someone that I've noticed was always in the chats, and I was following Geeks and Gamers when they were a Facebook group. So he's like one of the old time followers. I'm like,
back in
this isn't just some wokey. But I was like, oh my gosh, this whole Cobra Cast and covering politics is, in my personal view, breaking his brain. That I was like, if I tell him to ask him to stop covering Trump, he's probably going to think I'm a leftoid, when really I'm concerned about his content, because he's starting to become like Tim Pool.
Oh,
now, I don't know if he toned down from that, but
kind of. But
I just stopped watching him, and I still watch Tuesday night
main
event, and I still watch Friday Night Tights. But the reason I watch Friday Night Tights isn't because of Gary Nerdrotic or anything like that. It's because of Dan Bass's epic intro. If I had the money, I would literally beg Dan Bass to make my intros.
Dan Bass he's a fucking treasure. Just let me know when I'm cursing too much. I just do that as a normal thing, and I know I have to go over and not do that. But
this is how I know you don't watch my streams.
I'm gonna get you demonetized. I'm sorry.
No, the rule is within the 6 seconds.
Alrighty,
first 60 seconds.
I think I managed to avoid that. Now
you know the secret of why most YouTubers had their intros long as fuck. Is to cover any potential swears.
Perfect. I already messed that up with Nerd a couple times. I still haven't gotten YouTube down, and that's why I'm not on YouTube. I need to go over and get my big girl calluses up first.
But also, I don't really care about the monetization. I'm monetized, sure, but I mainly what I wanted was emojis in chat. That's all I wanted. Like how Toby's like, here's to 1K, and I'm like, I'm not even worried about that. I got what I wanted. I don't care about. I'm medically retired.
Milestone. No, I got what I wanted.
I was like, I'm done. We could be hit. Like someone even told me like how I can get more famous, and like I need to stop. Like my gaming shoots are done. I should focus on these other things. Like no, I'm gonna make what I want. I want to be the one person.
You can stretch yourself out to cover things that you're kind of curious about, but not really. But that's when the fun hobby becomes a job. And that's
Yeah.
when you start to watch someone die inside, like Angry Joe.
Oh, I used to love that guy.
Me too. Um, Angry Joe was such a fun character, and then it felt more and more lifeless the further along you went. And like, are you actually mad, or how much is this performative? And why are you boring? Why does this feel boring?
This is why I like Critical Drinker. All this time, he's still the same.
It'll be fine. Well, because this is a hobby for him. He's a freaking author. He has a job. This is a hobby. It's just a hobby that turned out to work out really well.
Yeah, I know. And that's like I told you, it's like I'm still like when I made 500, I was surprised about it, and I was like, I wanted it. I really I'll never deny that. And yeah, it's kind of nice to have, get paid, to watch.
Oh yeah,
and all that stuff.
Like,
but I told people it's like when they argue about the Rumble, it's like I don't really care about Rumble rants. When people when you did, I think you even did it. You, Val, y'all gave me like $100 and stuff. I was like, why are y'all doing that? Take your money back. No.
Now you're gonna take the 100 and you're gonna like it.
Yeah.
No.
But no, like it's a great community, and I tell people it's like when I stream, right? I believe in giving people a place to sit down, kind of like in a Dark Souls game. You see the campfire, you just sit there real quick. The world is dangerous, and that campfire is the only place that's safe. So here, you can chill, you can reminisce about games, you can watch a game, you can wait and wonder what is Lavistro going to go off over Darth Vader again. Like all these other things, and not because Darth Vader beat my ass, but because like the story was fucking bullshit on Jedi Survivor. Like I can go. There's just a couple times where I went off on rants, or the fact that like when I stream with Kyle Saver and them, pure chaos. The red shirts thing we're doing on Fridays, pure chaos. And I'm pretty sure if we streamed, I don't know if it's just me or if I always end up going with people that are similar, but even our tabletops, pure chaos.
They're not well. It would be different if I wasn't playing Layla. I tend to like to play jokey characters, and whenever I know I'm going to play a character on stream, I overthink them like crazy, and then they become quite bland and terrible.
Well, I like Layla.
Layla is a fucking hoot and a half, and she doesn't like. It's not that she doesn't care. It's just like I'm just here to go over and have fun. Like that was the thing when I got into because Brian screens players. He goes over and makes sure it's the screen players to make sure that if there's like a personality conflict that could happen, he could find that out very, very quickly in the one-on-one interview. And when he went over and talked to me, he's like, "Hey, this Witchlight campaign is kind of getting closer to the end. Are you sure you want to play?" I'm like, "Sure, I want to play. I just want to get in game because again, this is back when I was losing my fucking shit." And I basically, the best way I always found to get a character into a campaign that's already running is to play kind of airheaded or happy-go-lucky characters. So you don't burden a party with your bullshit, and instead you're allowed to grow with the party more quickly. So if you're just a really fun Vistasi girl that's traveling and wants to go over and just like stop her family from being cursed werewolves, you just want to go and have fun and put the fairyland for a little bit.
Yep. So I'm going to ask, why did you get into? What got you into streaming? I know you had your things going on, so obviously don't give anything that would be too personal for you. But what got you to streaming, and why did you choose Rumble? And was it the Rumble Revolution?
It wasn't Rumble Revolution. For the first part, it was because other people asked me to do it. I didn't want to stream. I didn't want to be online. But it was because other people kept encouraging me to do it that I went over and got into it. Why I eventually made my own channel, started going to Rumble, it was because I was hanging around Nerd a lot. And he was always talking about Rumble. And I have found that because it was strictly because Rumble was the smaller channel, I felt it would be better for me. So I could go over and try to, because you're always going to F up when you first stream. Absolutely. You're always going to make problems, especially when you have stuff going on.
Hey, I'm sorry, Sunker. I gotta step out, do parenting duties. I'll be right
I
back.
gotcha.
Just keep going.
I'll try.
I hate going to see
Okay.
what Nerd does, but I'm gonna have to. Actually,
Oh,
no, I'm
dear.
gonna do exactly what Nerd does.
Okay. Ah, no! Get off my face! It's so fat. No. Well, I'm actually going to go over and start looking over at your
But I'll be
YouTube
right
comment,
back.
your YouTube-y stuff while you're also doing that. So to go over and continue onwards, why I went to Rumble is because I knew I was going to make a lot of mistakes via streaming, via the technical stuff, via personality-wise, and trying to understand what it's like to be a performer, because streaming is a performance a little bit, because you don't want to be like, hey guys, everything sucks, I'm gonna sit here and be really quiet and play Diablo 2 and not say anything. That's not why people like to watch streamers. So there is a little bit of a performance to that, and I knew that I needed a small platform to go over and get through all of the little hiccups I would have to go through. And also just it just felt safer to be on Rumble than to be on YouTube. Also, it helps my ego, because I'm thinking, well, I haven't made it big because I'm not on YouTube. See, when I get onto YouTube, I'll be super important, and now that's just factory. Now I have to go over and look at you guys because I don't really have much else to say. I just jumped onto Rumble because it was smaller and I could make more mistakes, and my mistakes would be less noticeable. That's why I didn't start a streaming my own channel immediately when I started streaming on Geeks and Gamers Tabletop, because I knew I was a goddamn idiot. And I needed to go over and kind of figure myself out and figure out how to properly behave in front of the camera. Which is silly because, how can you not know how to go over and behave in front of a camera? Well, it's just a little bit different, because you're not just being on camera, you're also trying to be entertaining. You try to have fun with the audience, and you have to have fun with your fellow streamers. And now I have to go over and find yourself. Sorry, I looked up because my fat neck went over and got showed off, but oh no, he left me. I'm looking at you, chat. And thus my confidence is shattered. Okay, I'm working from the bottom. What kind of games do you like to stream? Relax, take it easy. Shush. Tell water not to be wet. So, what kind of games do you like to stream? I actually like to stream all kinds of games. First-person shooters, not tabletop, isometric downwards. I like strategy games. I don't have a game I don't like. I don't have a genre of games I don't like. Certain games I know aren't fun to have people watch, especially when I do my homework streams, which I haven't been able to do that lately because I haven't been streaming as much. So I try to go over and put a movie or something to keep other people entertained as I'm faffing around and trying to get optimized builds. I think the only gaming media I don't like is racing games and sports games.
Oh, yeah, good for instance. The only racing game I've ever played was Need for Speed Underground. I think that's the one. Or was it Most Wanted? It was the one where you're running from the cops a lot. It was basically Need for Speed. No, it's Need for Speed Fast. It's like I always call it the Need for Speed Fast and Furious edition, because you're literally doing the underground racing, and I loved it because I would love to. Now I would never do this in real life. I never do this in real life. But I just love the fact that I would go run through the speed camera to attack the police, or I tried to run into the police car and didn't run away and see how far I can make it before the police bust me. That was always fun for me.
That was the fun of games. Like, that's when you could just go over and do that stuff, and it was fun just to experience it.
Yeah,
and then hopefully not go over and try to get that thrill IRL, which is most people don't.
And that's one thing that my mom originally didn't understand. She would see me play these violent games, and she'd be like, he's gonna turn into a serial killer, this and that. And my dad, you would think my dad would be the one that totally whip her because he believes games are a money waster and a time waster. But he goes, nonsense. He's just letting off a little steam. Let him let off a little steam. Because like I was always bullied as a kid, but I was that one nerd you don't want to bully because I was a farm boy. So I had a lot. I didn't go to the gym to get buff. I was tossing.
You didn't have to. Chores did that.
And I was tall. So in our bull, to give the little Lavistro story, our bully was a short dude. He was in elementary school. He was fat and short.
So he got that short man rage.
Yeah, and he would pick on me, and I would just sit there like my dog used to do when our family dog, not the one I had that passed away last year, but the family dog. I had a husky then, and my sister had a chihuahua. She would all bark at her, and he'd look at her and like, you do realize I could sit on you and suffocate you. Like he just look at her like, who the hell do you think you are, right? I forget where I was going with that, but the bully. So when the bully bullied me, I just look at him like, you do realize that I could just like one punch you, knock you out, like you. But I would always get in trouble when I do that. So I'd come home like I'm trying to be good, but I'm getting bullied. And so I found out if I played a lot of these violent games, I let out a lot of pent out aggression, and by the end of the day, I'm good. It's kind of like my Lavistro rants episodes. It's like I'll have my Lavistro rants streams where I rant about something that bothers me, and it's usually in gaming. And then I sleep like a baby. Next day, I feel better.
Yeah, because sometimes it's better just to, instead of leaving it pent up, like other people would go over through certain exercises and stuff, like going to the gym or something like that to go over and get that stuff. But that's not always feasible for a lot of stuff. I prefer other streams because I have been streaming anything out there.
Yes,
that's understandable.
He streams on Rumble sometimes, but he works. Correct me if I'm wrong, seeing I don't think you don't work for them. He used to work for the BBC.
Oh.
Yeah,
what?
It was a long time ago. He's old.
Oh, that's actually not. It depends on what area you were in to see if that had a high hiring rate, is what they like to say. A high turnover rate.
Yeah. And then he now works for a Norwegian company. I believe if I remember correctly. But News Online. Okay, so he works for. I guess he's saying he works for them now. Mm-hmm. But great guy. I forget where I was going with that. But yeah, he used to stream on Rumble. I stream on Rumble because it's another platform. Another. I like to diversify my options. I want to reach everybody.
Oh yeah.
So my message is. There are good games. Like my message are good games out there. When I have a gamer or a streamer on, it's because I watched them for a while or I know them enough to be like, okay, here is a gamer who's not all politics. If they do politics, it's when it's appropriate or when they feel like they want to cover it, but they're mostly focused on games. And if you haven't figured out now, I'm trying to segue this back from this is kind of like I feel like a dungeon master. I'm trying to get the party back on track from railroading. But you stream games a lot, and mostly I guess the younger generation would call them retro games, but I guess since you're
it's
not
a little
retro.
bit the games I grew up with, so I guess that is retro. But retro games for me used to be like Super Mario. So
retro games for me is Pong.
Yeah.
So when I say retro, I'm thinking Atari. I'm thinking Atari games. And when they say, "Oh yeah, Street Fighter 2 is retro," I'm like, "Huh? Mario is retro? What?
Mario's always been retro. Even when Mario first came out, he knew He would be retro.
Yeah, like oh my god. But anyways, so what started your interest in games? Like, did you what was your first game, and was that the game that said, "Yeah, I'm a gamer girl now," or
Well,
girl gamer, or
it,
whatever?
it was a mix of things. I wanted boys to like me, so I went over and actually started to get into games more. But before boys,
And
um,
don't forget, boys, she's single.
and I have to start manhunting because I will become an NTA soon. Um,
Don't
uh,
you guys? Don't. No, no.
be nice,
The
boys.
Lavistro Sunker thing is not going to happen.
Mm, nope. What I want, a man with more baggage than you could take to an airport.
I have enough baggage.
Yeah. No, but my first games were the Nintendo, which was over at my grandmother's house. So every time we went over to grandma's house to say hi, as a kid, you would get bored. So you would either play in the backyard, which was huge, and
Hold
play
on,
in
I'm
the
going to
trees and
address
stuff
this.
like that.
TTRPG. I do get your roll checks. I highlight them too. See? And I even get in Shadow Wardens. So I don't always acknowledge everybody's chats. So, but yes, I'll even invite you. I get your chats. I highlight them. Okay, don't have to worry. I'm not ignoring Rumble. It's even though that Rumble hasn't paid Hypnotic, and I have my issues with Rumble's terms of service policies. But no, I'm fair. I'm also on X. Nobody's talking on X. So go ahead. I'm sorry, Sunker making.
It's all good. First game console was the Nintendo, the great black and gray thing with the red lettering. And the first games were like Zelda, which I sucked at, and I didn't understand how it worked because when I was a young sunker, I never read. I thought I could go through life without reading, and I was very stringent on that to the point where my parents thought I had certain problems. Um, but no, those were the first games I got into. I think where I started realizing games could be important rather than just like flippy things on a screen. It wasn't. It was when we got the PlayStation, and we for Christmas, family home Christmas PlayStation, and we got two games. This is back when I grew up poor, so lots of saving up to go over and get the good old crate box, where you would have to go over and do basic surgery when the cartridge didn't work. You would have to breathe in it like you giving it the breath of life. And then sometimes you would get bored, so you would try to make it like get the loaded thing just stuck a little halfway, so everything wouldn't load in properly and looked all jacked up. I was a terrible child. Anyways, when I realized that games were important, they weren't just blippy things. It was Final Fantasy VII, and it was Tomb Raider 2. Because with Tomb Raider 2, it showed that, oh, we can go 3D. Oh, we can probably start doing other things. Oh, this actually opens up a whole different avenue and whole different ways of which you can make a character and make a character interact with an environment. That's big. Or at least that's what I realized my child brain recognized earlier on. And with Final Fantasy VII, it wasn't so much that I recognized what was going on. It was me recognizing what my sisters were feeling when they were going over and playing Final Fantasy VII, when they were reading the dialogue, when they were getting into the characters. And when Eris died, the family, they cried. They cried over a dying game character, but it was traumatic. We were teenagers, or they were.
You know what's even funny about that?
Huh?
Like, I went to game design, but it
was that game design. How it was originally supposed to go was you were only going to have 3 characters. It was going to be Cloud, Barrett, and Eris. I remember because I got this from a video game magazine, and they wanted to go over and kill off a character to kind of ramp up the villain, which was Sephiroth. Sephiroth was always going to be the villain. So they couldn't kill Cloud because he was the main, and killing Barrett would have been too obvious. So they did decide to go over and kill Eris.
Yeah. You know what's funny about that whole scene though? That scene was so impactful. They actually add that as a actual course for the player and character psychology.
Because it's so
Like,
shocking.
no, it's how to invest. Part of playing games, right, is that we care about our games, regardless if it's Assassin's Creed, Final Fantasy,
Mhm.
uh, you name the game that you love. This is why we get all an uprage about woke in our games, is because we're so invested in those games. The point of uh, these games like that was especially for the story is to keep people interested in playing the game, to continue the game, to continue the story. So people were so invested in the game and fell in love with the character of Aerolith that it created an emotional impact that very few games were able to do. That it
At
has
that
now
time.
become the staple. Well, at the time, yeah. Now it has become the staple. If you want to make it invest people in your characters, this is how you do it. I
Um,
think
Go
one
ahead.
of the one of the few games I would say that choked me up in tears. There's a few games that's done that. Or the ending is like you realize this is the end of the game. There's no more. You've done everything there's to do, and there's no more of it. As much as I hated this game because I just hated the aesthetics and I hated staring at the boat for hours on end, was Wind Waker, and it was when
Oh.
the King of Hyrule. They got the Triforce at the end, and this is a spoiler, but this is an old game, so you should have played it by now. If you haven't, that's on you.
Wait, no! Put the spoiler blocker up! Don't spoil Wind Waker! No!
Yeah, but anyways, he goes and says, he tells the gods, let this generation have their life. Let them have your choices to make. Our choices are done. It's time to end the old and bring out the newer. So I can't remember the exact line, but he was basically saying it's time for Hyrule to die. Wind Waker was supposed to be the last Zelda game.
Oh, that wasn't gonna happen. I know
Yeah,
they
it never
wanted
was,
it.
but that was the intent. Like at that time
Well,
period, I can't
What?
I
Why
can never
would
say his
they?
name right.
That's not true.
The guy
That can't be true.
who originally created, he wanted to move on to other things, and then he came out with Twilight Princess later on, which I was like, yeah, I like that version better than this one. But the thing was passing the story off. That was the whole point of it, is to pass it off for another thing. Like this is to close out this. Like they were even thinking about closing out Mario because it was the new millennium, so they wanted to come up with new stories, new characters,
Well,
but they
they
continued
always
it on.
could. It's just they never did, and it's just
Yeah,
easier to return to an old franchise.
yeah, and that's the thing. But the story literally made me want to cry because you see Link trying to reach out and hold on to the king as he's being shifted up onto the surface world, and the king is just sitting there under the water, and because the king is literally the boat. So like you realize that whole bond is to had, even though he doesn't say a lot for the story itself, that he actually cared about that boat. I was like, oh my goodness, I'm gonna like. I told myself I was 18, I think. I was like, I'm gonna fucking cry. I literally thought I was literally about to cry because it was so well written and invested. Even though I hated staring at that boat's ass the whole game, he was literally there to give advice, this and that, and the way he talks makes you think.
have, me or Navi? It's like, oh, I don't like that.
Navi was an example of done wrong. She's become a meme at this point. Like, if I could, I would literally make a AI animation of, hey, listen, and Link just pulling out bug spray.
Dude, like, hey, listen should be what you listen when you get a court order.
Hey, listen is literally the definition of marriage.
Hmm. Well,
You
not
sit
that
down,
one, yeah.
you're focused on something. Hey, listen. Hey, listen. And you look up
I
your
see
at
that
your
you're
spouse.
fucking up.
You did the dishes wrong.
I gotta go use restroom real quick.
Go ahead.
Keep him
I will
busy.
catch up with the chat. Go ahead.
Alrighty.
So everyone, yes.
And tea.
SunkerMaidens for you. We're going to continue on with the gaming questions and stuff like that. But if you have questions for her, please go ahead and ask them in there. And we'll go ahead. Final Fantasy was the first game I spent over 100 hours in. Yes, I played that game so many times. I memorized the story in that, and then when I got my brain injury, that's one of the ones that suffered. It's memory hold. But yet, when I see the game, I can remember things, and I'm like when I watched a reverse, I'm like, that's not what was in the original. That was not in the original. Oh yes, I remember that, especially the forums about that. Yeah, about how to resurrect Aerith. Yes, all that. Oh yes, I actually did that one. I remember that because I actually did that to see if that could happen. I actually was so pissed off, and I thought I did it wrong that I literally would do it. Oh, I spent a year doing that, only to realize that I was had. I wasted so much time trying to bring back Aerith.
God, it went back in the day when you ran into those rumors. Those were great. Those were the funnest thing in the world. When you're like, if you actually go over and do this, and you punch a hedge, and then you do this, Laura Croft can get a car and can drive the car around. Some jerk on the bus over and told me that I had Laura Croft dying in fireplaces everywhere, trying to unlock and prove this rumor true. I was so mad. And it was like my family eventually was just like, that person lied to you. Like, how could she lie?
The only one I was able to prove true was Masingo for
Which one?
Pokemon. If you go from
I think
Vermin
you
City
proved
and
that
go
one.
surf with a surf Pokemon all the way down to Arcuno's
Yeah.
Island and not get an encounter, and then you just run up and down 7 times, you would
But
see the
you
glitch
have
Pokemon.
yeah, Missing No was my sister's boyfriend, who's now her husband, but same same one who's DM. Um, he had a Game Shark, so he was the one who let us know about Missing No and stuff.
Yeah, I didn't have a game share. I was too poor for that.
Well, he was poor too, but you find ways.
Yeah. It fell off a truck.
Truly. So yeah, that was such a pure time of the internet. It was like it was the wild hello. It was such a Wild West time where
Mhm.
you had to be careful which websites you went to, and that's actually when you would go into like highly customized websites where your cursor would change color and all that stuff. Where that was like such a huge big thing back then, back when dial-up was a thing.
I remember because I loved the movie Dragonheart. I
Mhm.
would
Same.
have it to where when I empty my trash can or my recycling bin, it would do the scene from Dragonheart where Drake would slam Bo into the trees. You go again and again. How does the ride sound so far?
Dude, I miss movies like Dragonheart. I'm gonna convince Nerd to do an Is It Good with Dragonheart, where we'll do Dragonheart and then we'll do Willow. Just like these two movies that were like weird fantasy movies, but at the same time were kind of like amazing in their own way.
Yeah, like I acknowledge only Dragonheart and Dragonheart 2. Dragonheart 3,
I
Dragonheart
haven't even
4.
watched Dragonheart 2.
Oh, Dragonheart 2 is literally I don't want to spoil it, but
Spoilers.
I don't want to spoil it. I really don't, but I will say you have to watch it because in this one it's literally after Bowen dies. Because
They
Drake
couldn't
was
get
the
the
last
actor.
one. And he meets up with 2 people from China, which tells you a little hint of what happens in that movie. I don't want to spoil it.
Oh,
But
so all the European dragons are dead, but the Chinese dragons are alive.
no. It's different.
Oh, okay. Oh, they want to go
It,
eat dragons because they're a rare commodity
no.
by
It's still
China.
it's still in that same landscape. It's still in that castle. Everything else, it's all in that thing. But let me put it this way: without spoiling it, the movie talks about losing sight of things, of what was important, of what the whole like especially the first one's about the old code, bringing back the old code, right?
Yeah. Well, that was
And
actually the whole
here,
point of
they
his character
lose
was.
sight in the translation of the old code in this one. So they mistranslate the.
set him back to. They basically repeated the same character arc.
No. They literally try to live the old code, but they translate the old code to be something else. You have to watch it. You'll see. Like
Well,
here's one
You're
example.
just making
They
my
say that
stomach upset, sir. I don't really want to go over and watch something that just bastardized a movie I liked as a
no,
child.
it doesn't bastardize it. Like if you put the two together, they actually point
Is it
out.
like a reinterpretation or?
No, it's not a reinterpretation. Okay, let's put it this way. Not to get too political, but how they're trying to say hate speech is not free speech, yet by American law it is literally under free speech, right?
So you can't make threats.
Yeah, you can't make
You
threats.
can't threaten a life. That's the main, like, that's why you go over and have limitations on
Okay, let me
free
just put it
speech
this
when
way.
it's like completely outrageous, like convincing a
well-
mob to attack someone.
Yeah.
Free speech is not covered.
I'm
as
losing you, so I'm just going to say it like this. Here they
Alright.
say, based on the old code, which is supposed to be all are created equal in the old code, right?
Mhm.
Here they say, because of the old code, we're supposed to protect the weakness. That they say the peasants will have to wear a certain color gown, the nobles have to wear another. So they segregate and say and twist
gay.
the old code. So they literally twist the old code, and the main protagonist says this is wrong.
Oh, then it was bad people bastardizing.
Yes.
Okay,
And so
no, that makes sense.
it basically criticizes the fact that you can lose sight of the old code if you're not paying attention.
There's another game, Avatar, I believe. Back when I watched Spoonie, I do remember that one, where I think it was the 6th one, where they had a guy go over and take the same code tenets that the Avatar, the virtues, and turned them into horrific laws, but for good reasons. Charity. Give all your money to charity, or you won't have any money. So it created these concepts were told in games earlier on. We just didn't realize.
Yeah.
Anyways,
that's
one thing I wanted to hit on.
Mm-hmm,
that you went over and brought up earlier that I was just like, that I want to make sure to go back on that. That you went over and said they were doing a master class on the death of Eris and how that impacts.
No, it's actually a college class, but yes.
There's a college class involved in that. I believe they also do something similar, but I don't know if it's a college class, of Silent Hill 2.
Yes.
Because Silent Hill 2 is kind of the end-all be-all of psychological horrors, and we've never really reached that point before. And it's really funny because it was on such like shoestring budgets and everything. From what I go over and recall properly, where even the voice actors weren't allowed to do their line, because when you're voice act, you're alone in your booth and you say your lines and then you go home. They didn't have that luxury. So to save on time, I think they made sure to have the other actor with each other. And while that was weird and that wasn't status quo, it actually did add in a more familial element and more of a back and forth and a more closeness between the characters. And this was with all the characters.
Yeah. But yeah, so
to go over and say, like, we have these movies. These games went over and came out in late 90s, early 2000s. Did I say movies again?
You said games.
Games, good. All those things came out then, And they still hit emotionally. If you've never played a game before, I've actually watched people never play Silent Hill 2 before, the old one. And they sometimes they make fun of it, sometimes they do X, Y, and Z, but they still end up getting drawn in. And they still are immediately horrified and still get emotionally invested. And the one thing I wanted to hit on before we move on to the next topic you want to go to is that wokeism is selfish and does not care if you are emotionally invested. They want you. When wokeism gets into games and wokeism gets into stories and all that stuff, it's immediately selfish because it's not to serve the audience; it's to serve themselves. And they don't care if you're interested in their characters, to the point they will go over and attack you for it. And they'll say there's something wrong with you that you don't like my characters, and that's why there's very little emotional attachment to any woke characters at all. And
Exactly.
that's my soapbox of the day.
Yeah, no, I tend to agree. Like, are there woke games that are good? Yes, Baldur's Gate 3.
Oh,
That game's awesome. I love the game.
it's a good sequel to Original Sin.
Yeah, that's true too. Because you got to remember, the people who made Baldur's Gate 3 made Original Sin.
And it shows a lot of how the combat feels and everything. It feels like an Original Sin gameplay that got heavily limited to follow D&D 5e rules, and it
Yes.
doesn't feel good. It feels very clunky.
You know what I'm saying? It's like the elements of wokeism that are in it. It's there, but it's not forced per se, in my view.
Well, they mask it a little bit more, but it's still
Yeah,
just it
they mask it, but
grinds feeling
it's
to a halt. It's weird.
There's some
because-
parts where I'm rolling my eyes, don't get me wrong, but like compared to actual woke games, like this, like Baldur's Gate 3 is probably the only one that would pass for as a decent normal game where they're not preaching too much. I mean, if you want to argue about preaching in games, we could always go with Final Fantasy VII preaching about the environment, because the heroes are literally eco terrorists.
Yeah, they are eco terrorists. Here's the thing,
They're-
though. You liked all of the eco terrorists. They made them likable. Barrett, you love Jesse, you love Biggs, you love Wedge, you love Marlene, you love everyone involved in Avalanche, even though they're bad guys technically because they're blowing up power plants. They all of them are likable, and they were correct because those Mako, what did they call them?
I forget, but technically, if you really think of the repercussions of blowing up power plants, they were making the problem worse.
Yeah, they were. There's certain plots and stories in Final Fantasy VII that don't make sense, kind of like how you can be
Mako reactors.
Mako reactors, yes. Befriending, like at the end, it doesn't make sense how you would kind of be friendly with the Turks, given that the Turks went over and dropped an entire plate on top of people, killing an entire sector. And there were a lot of people in there, but you're still like, you kind of are on okay terms with Reno, even though he murdered all of your friends. Mako reactors. Yeah.
So we got actual gamers in here.
Yay! Old school gamers, but like again, we don't get fun stuff like that. Everything in today's storytelling is very over thought out or desensitized, and it doesn't feel honest. There was an environmental message, but it wasn't following like Captain Planet.
Yeah, I think it was more of it was there, but it was easily discarded.
It not discarded, but it was just it was just a part of the plot.
Yeah.
And you didn't actually have to agree with it or not.
I think this is actually the word I'm looking for, abstract. Eco-terrorism and Final Fantasy was more abstracted rather than beating you over the head with direct real world issues. Yes.
Yes,
It
and
was very generalized and very wide stroke to where it was weird. If you wanted to think about it, you could, but most people were like, okay, yeah, and skip. Oh, let's go blow up another reactor.
and
That was me. That was me in Final Fantasy VII.
I would
like,
rather fight.
Skip.
But no, I would go over and say it's also a difference of culture because of how Japan saw what industrialization did to it. I think I haven't done too much research in this, but it could just very much be Japan saw how much it destroyed itself through industrialization, or it lost a lot because, unlike America, which we can handle that a lot better, Japan's a little island. It's a little island.
Mm-hmm.
And once that forest is gone, it's real fucking hard to get it back. Final Fantasy VIII is there's something that's missing. I find with 7 everything feels a lot better, and that could just be my nostalgia. Final Fantasy VIII, it was so disorienting trying to keep the story straight. You're part of Soldier, you're part of Seed. Your Soldier's from Seed, and apparently you're very well known, and that's how you make your money. And that was BS, by the way. The only way you could make money was passing tests. You play Final Fantasy VIII?
Me? I don't think so. I probably have. I don't remember. I'm looking at it right now because my brain injury.
Okay.
I don't remember. Hold on. Let me
How
look it
you
up.
make money? You don't make money by running around beating up monsters. You make money, or you increase your money thing because you get a paycheck. And this is my wonky
That's
memory,
boring.
so keep me honest, chat.
Oh,
get a paycheck.
yeah.
So you have to up your rating so you get a better paycheck.
Now I remember. Yes. No wonder. I am so glad my brain.
You
made
have
me
to
hold
take
this.
tests. Like, what? F you, 7? 8? Sorry, 8? I have to go over and take a quiz and up my employment rating so I can afford better weapons.
It kind of reminded me of Final Fantasy Tactics. Final Fantasy Tactics was similar in a way. I mean, you did quests and advanced, and now your job stats that way. I hated that.
I liked being able to send mercenaries out on jobs in Final Fantasy Tactics because it allowed your mercenaries to do a lot more fun stuff. And the only thing I didn't like was if they failed a mission, that can sometimes cut you off from an entire mission line.
Yeah.
And mess you up. So basically what you would end up doing, because everyone in Tactics did this, was they'd accept the job and then travel in between 2 cities and then go back, because you couldn't go off and do your own thing, because if you did all those battles, went back and learned that the mission failed, you're like, F, I gotta go over and do that all over again. So, no, I like 8. I appreciated. It was much prettier, but I found just the story was a bit too messy for me, and there's too much pseudo plot. The flashbacks were save off and save early. The flashbacks with Laguna was highly irritating. And I didn't realize this. People who played Final Fantasy VIII, I didn't make the connection that Laguna is Squall's dad. And that's why Squall would have those flashbacks.
Oh, believe me, you're not the only one. There are a lot of Roll 34 pictures that just made things even more disturbing. Yeah. Back then, yeah, I remember some of those pictures. I was like, I'm looking at the image thing for Google Final Fantasy VIII in the image, so I can see if I can put my brain to jumpstart and remember. And when I saw some of the faces, like, oh, I remember this.
I remember
I
you
hate
in
it.
porn.
I look up everything.
But no,
Look,
the story was very, it was much more convoluted. I did like, I believe her name was Eve or Eden or something like that. It was the sorceress girl that Squall's hired to, Squall and crew are hired to kill. Um, she was, I like her arc a little bit, where she went from, she did the villain to hero. See, admitting that you know you're aware of oh dear, shut up, Passo.
yeah. See, that's the thing though. Like with my brain injury, if I don't remember something, all I have to do is see an image, and usually it jumpstart, and it's like that whole thing where like you broke the damn wall and all the water floods in. All those memories come pouring back in, and that's literally like, and part of that was the Rule 34, and I'm like, oh yeah, I wrote now. It just gets worse from there. And you're like, no, I don't want to know this. In the Wild West.
Lord. No, I do remember that from I think Andy Worski from Kino Casino goes over and says like memory unlocked, because Andy Worski has met, apparently Andy Worski knows everyone on the internet. There's like 6 degrees to Andy Worski everyone can engage in. He's like the Kevin Bacon of streamer universe. And internet personalities. And dude, he goes over and says memory unlocked because he was a huge cokehead before he went clean. So his memory is a little bit jacked up. But then people in his stream starts reminding him of like, oh, it's this guy who's doing this. Like, I remember this guy. I was on his stream one time.
Yes. Yes, and that's the beautiful thing to me, that it's how I'm trying to unlock it. My brain just decided, yeah, we're gonna dump the memory now. So,
well, you
no, I just love what I was saying.
Forward,
But
so
okay, yeah. Now I remember. It's always good to preserve. I mean, it's great to have remasters, right? And stuff, but it's best to preserve things as opposed to reimagine. Like, oh, we can do this stuff that we've never been able to do before. Well, that's cool, but were you the one doing it before? No.
Well,
fascinating. Maybe you should just keep what was there and preserve and facelift the audio, the textures, and stuff like that.
That's
like Final Fantasy Rebirth.
It's garbage.
Me off.
It's garbage. As soon as I would have heard about certain things occurring, like you would now have time ghosts fucking around, like, then this isn't what this is not what I ordered.
Yeah.
And it
Granted,
sounds
Tifa Bikini was nice. Don't get me wrong. That was a nice treat. But I wanted the game. I wanted a one. I wanted a 1-for-1.
You wanted your game back. You just wanted your game with better graphics, and that is all the Final Fantasy VII fans ever wanted, was give me the same game and give it to me with better graphics.
I will pay the $80, even if it's just the better graphics. Because the graphics, you're literally having to remake. You might have to be remaking the models. Jiggle physics for Tifa's boobs obviously isn't going to be cheap.
It's not that hard. You see jiggle physics nowadays. Apparently, any Korean knockoff game can go over and do that. So booby physics ain't that hard.
And we're going to be covering that. The Korean games thing.
Yeah. It was very funny when I was looking at some Korean games. They're just outrageous. Like, whenever I see super, like, outrageously sexy characters, it's not, I'm never like, how dare? It's always like, that outfit wouldn't work. There's no way that would stay there. And I just kind of get a chuckle out of it because it's so outrageous. The same way I get a chuckle out of really silly fight scenes. We're just like, that's not how that would work.
I know that it's like, it needs to be realistic. It's like, you know, one of my favorite parts about Street Fighter 2 was Chun-Li's helicopter kick. It's not how that works. That would never be realistic. And her dress being able to defy gravity like that so you don't see certain things. Yeah, that's not how that works. But you know what? It's funny. To me, it was funny. I would laugh my ass off. See, if I was playing against Chun-Li, my sister loves playing Chun-Li. I was always
Pat can back me up.
I'm oh shoot, I'm pulling a brain part. I was not Ken Arroyo. I was always the blonde-haired military guy. Guile.
Oh.
Guile. That's who his name was, Guile. And it was because I love G.I. Joe, and this was the closest character to G.I. Joe. So I'm G.I. Joe, and she's Chun-Li. We're always beating each other up. And when she did the helicopter chick, I lose every time because I'm laughing my ass off at how funny that looked to me. Because I'm literally thinking of it of like Street Fighter, right? Like the movie. And think of how cheesy it would be to see Chun-Li, because back then we didn't have the CGI. We just had strings and stuff like that, wires and strings. And I'm imagining an actress being Chun-Li just before the movie came out, doing a helicopter kick, and it just was comical to me that I would lose my shit. Tomb
Well, that's
Raider,
why she
same
always
thing.
played Chun-Li, so she'd make you laugh and win.
No, she played Chun-Li because she wanted a female character.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That too.
Like when we played Super Mario Brothers 2, she was always trying to play Princess Peach. Or was it Daisy back then?
Same. The floaty one. It was
No, it was Peach.
one
'cause
when they
Daisy
gave you the
was
4 characters. The one when they
Yeah.
gave you 4 characters, the female was Peach.
yeah, because Daisy was for the Game Boy version of Super Mario Brothers.
Daisy was for rescuing. Peach
Yeah.
actually got off her ass sometimes.
Yeah,
Or one time.
occasionally. Mission dependent. That's what I'll say. Mission dependent. But no. So where are they going with all this?
I don't know.
Oh yeah. I'll just
What's the
mention
plot?
another one.
This is an interesting interview.
Like I'll say this. Like with Tomb Raider, right? I love me some Lara Croft. Don't get me wrong. But when they say she's able to get into some tight corners and this and that, I was like, no, she wouldn't. Her boobs are too big. She would get stuck. And that would be every pervert Japanese culture fanatic's wet dream. Let's just be honest here. To see her get stuck.
Well, I don't think, back when I played her, back when I played Tomb Raider, it was still all block technology and turret controls. So it's been a while. I didn't play the newer ones because new Lara Croft is very, very, very boring. Sorry, my monitor decided to turn off because the plug is.
No, I agree with that. I think I have one of the newer ones, but I got it as a gift from a Humble Bundle thing.
It reminds me very much of, if you ever listen to the epic rap battle between Lara Croft and Tomb Raider.
Oh yes.
Like, Laura wins in the end, in my opinion, where she just absolutely smokes him. But he had some really good things. Where, if I could go over and judge the burns, he peaks high and kind of peters off, and she kind of like ramps up and like schools him in the end. But he hurts her with, you used to go in uncharted territory. Now you're just in Uncharted's territory. Just like, oh! Because that's the game. That is absolutely the Lara Croft games. They're just rip-offs of Uncharted. And then when Uncharted stopped doing their stuff, they didn't know who to rip off anymore. So then they just kind of plummeted and died. Yeah.
No, and like I just looked it up, but the game I got from Humble Bundles package, that was like, we're gonna throw this in here too, was Shadows of the Tomb Raider. So that's what I got with that. I haven't played that game yet, but even that one, that does not look like Lara Croft. When I was like, who is that supposed to be?
Was that when they wanted to make her goth?
That's the one where she has flat boobs.
Oh, Shadows of the Tomb Raider. Let me
Yeah.
go over and check it out.
Here.
Shadows.
Let me see if I can find, because she looks like she has muscles in this one. Like, in some cases she looks like a dude, in some cases she doesn't. There we go. Here.
Oh yeah, that was. Well, they're there. They're just not.
They're not. It's not Lara Croft. Like here's the image I saw. It's like, okay, who's this character? I thought it was a different character.
Okay.
I'm putting it in the private chat so you look at. But
I'll look at it. Like, yeah, it's when she got that man face going on. Enter validate. You don't believe I'm 1 year old. Damn. You bitch. Oh god, yeah. This when they, There was one, because I have it and it's on Xbox. There was one Lara Croft game where they did revamp her a little bit. They tried to give her a more curved personality, but she was still a badass. She was still fun, and she went over and checked shit out. I can't remember what the game was, but it was a very, very fun game.
Yeah.
And then they went into the next generation of graphics and everything. When Lara Croft stopped being Lara Croft and started being a vehicle. And it was it was slightly after they had the opening level, which game devs, just as a hint and a thing, please never go from start off your level with a water level. Ever. Unless it is a water-based game, do not start off your level with a heavy, in-depth water level where you're shooting sharks with harpoon guns. I remember not liking that one as much.
Or could I add on to it? Or where you're spending for the next 30 minutes on the back of a wagon with some Norwegianer saying, "Hey, you're finally awake."
Fuck you. That's an amazing opening.
No, that's not amazing because that part was amazing, but you're just sitting there 15 minutes looking around, waiting to move. By the time it said, then you pop out, it says, "Press this button to look around." I've been looking around for 15 minutes. I want to move. Okay, now walk to the executioner. Now just walk to the tower. When do I finally get to do some fighting? 30 minutes into the game. Equip Gunger's axe. Yes, I played Skyrim that much. I actually know the thing by heart.
No, it's just I don't mind that anymore. I'm so used to kind of like baby tutorial. Flat chest is goth. Nobody wants that. Oh no, some guys. But yeah, it's. I can't be too mean to Skyrim. There's other reasons why I would be mean to Skyrim, and that it is just
Skyrim. It's just
Skyrim's,
bitch.
Yeah, Skyrim's just a little bit of a deterioration that's been experienced with Elder Scrolls, to where apparently it peaked at Morrowind, and I did play Morrowind. I do remember making sure I was wearing both pauldrons, pants, a skirt. Like, the equipment thing for Morrowind is insane. You can wear pants, a skirt, all kinds of equipment on top of that. You can like deck yourself out and everything, and it was all legit. I don't know why I kept dying. Probably because I was wearing armor I was not trained to wear. But apparently from what Elder Scrolls did was it whenever it peaked at Morrowind and then just kind of dribbled off and kind of got a nice bump at Skyrim, but then just didn't know what else to do after that.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I gotta use the restroom again. Sorry.
Right.
This is why I like not being on camera. I could just run off very quietly.
Yeah. We're going to cover one more thing on your history, and then we'll be getting to some news if we have time. Yeah, see, I that's one thing I liked about Bethesda's inventory system. I loved Bethesda's weight system. The weighted inventory system. I love that. Don't get me wrong. I never liked the Diablo style, what I call the jigsaw inventory system, where you have to literally play Tetris. It's like a game within a game. You want this item, well, you gotta make sure that you have this. Like, inventory systems done right, there's always a cost. If you want to steal all the things, okay, do you have enough slots in your inventory system? Okay, so you can't steal all the things. Or do you have enough strength to carry them all? Therefore, the more strength or whatever stat you have, the more slots you'll have. There's that. Bethesda does it with is a hybrid. It's the weighted system, so you have to hit a certain amount of weight and then you're encumbered where you walk slow. But also, the more strength you have and the more endurance you have, right? The more you can carry for a longer period of time, and even if you're encumbered, it reduces your speed by a certain amount. Therefore, you might be walking faster, even though it's slower, than you would at level 1. So that's why I like Bethesda's inventory system. But yeah, the newer games are starting to suck. Don't get me wrong. This is why I mod. I tell people you can't play a Bethesda game and not mod it. Like play it once as intended, but if you like the game, never play it again as intended. You always want to mod it because you will always find things that need to be improved on.
Or if it's Fallout 76, never play it.
Yeah, don't. No. I want to. Don't get me wrong. I wanted to play it because the concept was interesting. It's like when it's right. It's supposed to be when they start
The first
going out,
time a vault dweller goes out.
which would make sense for the storyline. It would make sense for it to be an MMO. Everyone has their own story, but
they did it all wrong because
Yes.
actually the concept is actually wondrous. Fallout could work as an MMO with each expansion being an increase in map and going to different areas of California. Not California. Going to different areas of the US.
Mhm.
And that's actually where I was very, very disappointed, where they're like, we got a new expansion. Okay, what is it? We got more shit in the same map. Okay. You will own nothing and be happy.
Yeah, and that's that you can thank Ubisoft for.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
I just as a concept, you could have easily, because making the entire mapping of the United States would be insane to do as a first go. But if you actually took on the online component with a kind of set like end date, like after we get all of this done, we'll see if we want to keep this get this game alive. Having a fun online game where each iteration opens up a new area that you can map very clearly, it would have been an amazing experience. But Bethesda is untalented and didn't feel like doing that.
They're one of the examples of lazy game devs. People
Yes.
say, "Oh, Todd Howard is great. Todd Howard." I'm like, Todd Howard is the reason why certain games failed.
I can't
I'm
throw
just
it
gonna-
all at Tom Howard, but there's probably some poor management stuff that's going on there.
Mhm.
Given that they had to, when you learn that a company sold, it's either that company was starting to go under, but they still had skilled staff. So they sold the skilled staff to a company to recoup any losses they would have gotten if they tried to like sell everything piecemeal.
Or it was just the IPs. The IPs were so good.
That too, and it's just
But
it's a mess.
yeah. Anyways, so going back to your streaming history, I know you
Okay.
technically streamed games later, and they were retro games. I want to ask questions on the retro games later on, but you started your stream as a co-host for the Common Nerd for When Who Was Good.
Where I got obscenely drunk. I feel very bad about that. I'm working on it. I say that as I just chugged down 2 beers in 2 hours. That's actually pretty good for me.
Yeah, that is very good. And it's better than the Common Nerd back in the day where we would pay to get him drunk. I feel bad about that half the time. Okay, not bad, because that was my intention, was to get him drunk and pass out on a chair again. But I feel bad when I think about like he has a family.
No, that actually turned off a lot of people, and that's actually why he started taking out the drinking rules and stuff like that. It was turning people off, and they were seeing it as pretty destructive because we were around that time. We were seeing other streamers start to fall apart because they had their drinking goals and stuff like that.
And for me, it would like not like I talked to Common Nerd about this, but I even said it in the chat, so I'm not trying to talk behind his back. But I've actually did say to him in the chat and offline that he wanted to go to that event that one year. Was it last year? I think it was. Where poor Black Garrett was going to pick him up and all that stuff. He got really drunk. We told him no more. We're going to stop helping him get to Las Vegas.
Oh, it was the Las Vegas meetups that all happened?
Yeah, that's when all that happened. I told him, I was like, look, I love you, but if God wants you to go, he'll provide a way. But if you keep going down this, if you keep drinking like this, no, I'm not gonna fund this because I do not want to see my friend destroy his career, his content creation career. Because that's literally what he remember, he had a part-time job showing houses and stuff
He still
and
does now.
streaming.
At
Yeah.
One's moving. He got it
Yeah,
back.
he still does that. But he still does that, but it's not as prominent as it used to be. So he's starting to get, up there, and I'm glad he
a night of over drinking.
yeah, he did a real good job. Real good job on
No,
it.
he doesn't.
But my
If
point
anyone
is
used to watch him that shows this thing, he doesn't drink anymore, and that's very good for him. That's actually working out great, awesome for him.
Yeah, I want to get past that.
Extremely depressed, so
yeah, because I want to get past that because I do want to mention he did bounce back. But my point is that some people would say that the Common Nerd was your gateway into streaming because you're a co-host for When Who Was Good. I mean, that's literally how I met him for you because I didn't know I knew he made the Warhammer content for Decent Gamers Tabletop for a while, but I never really bothered looking into it. I wasn't really interested in Warhammer. But what got you two together? I mean, full disclosure for anyone who wants to read into that, Common Nerd is married, but no, I'm talking about together as in friends and co-hosts, not.
Yeah, we are absolutely friends. No. No.
Yeah,
I have a very strict rule on that.
Yeah,
what ended up, I would go over and say that no, my first time streaming was Geeks and Gamers Tabletop. That's what got me into streaming to begin with. Where I got
you were in
Strange Wits.
Yes. Now I remember.
So it was Geeks and Gamers, and then they started doing a whole bunch of stuff, and it was because I was in a very bad spot. I should have excused myself, and I didn't. So, moving on from that, I ended up crossing paths with the Common Nerd because JT was trying to get me into more streaming stuff.
Smash JT?
JT Savage.
Okay, JT Savage. Yeah, remember, there's two JT streamers that my circles know. So, go ahead. Sorry.
So JT Savage, I believe he was talking to Moss, and then Moss had to go on to. He was going on to the Common Nerds channel on Rumble because it was around the same time where Moss did the banana incident, where he ate a banana salaciously. And that got the Common Nerds channel nuked. It was amazing. So Moss would be showing up there to go over and keep everything alive, keep the people going there who might have lost contact with the Common Nerd and didn't know what was going on, but because they had cross audiences, Moss would announce he's going over to the Common Nerd, kind of letting other people know he's on Rumble now, and Rumble's not going to kick him out for having people salaciously eat bananas. So it wasn't banana eating, it was other things.
That's one thing I want to point out here. Until the community finds it offensive.
Until
that is content policy number 6. So yeah, they will ban.
Oh yeah. Don't eat any bananas, cucumbers, or.
Be careful how you stay here. I don't want to be banned.
I'll try to avoid it. I will restrain myself.
Yes.
So, I ended up showing up on Nerd, and that's actually back when I was going to straight whiskey. So that showed you how much I hated myself. And I just popped in there. First night on Rumble, they're doing their stream, and I made myself black out. So, first time ever blacking out. That's a very interesting experience. It's like when you wake up from a blackout, it's like a crime scene, and you don't know what the murderer, aka you, did, but you're going to find clues to figure out what you did. So,
and the beauty of this is that it's all happened on a channel that got banned and shut down, so you'll never find Sunker's blackout videos.
No, this was him on Rumble.
I'm trying to
It's like one
help
of
you.
his first
I'm trying to
ones.
help you.
I know, but I don't like lying to people. So no,
Oh, you're not lying to people.
I did.
I am.
No, but I did. I do go over and when I was streaming, I should never have been streaming. I really, really should not have been streaming because I wasn't in a good mindset and it wasn't there for the right reasons. I am now because I
What's
like
the right reasons?
because you want to.
You mean it's not for the money?
No, it was not. It should never be for the money because you're not going to make money off this
Oh
gig.
boy, am I in the wrong here? I'm trying to recoup all my freaking gold that I lost raising a dragonling.
Well,
Just kidding.
you're gonna get bubble gum for him, most likely.
Oh yeah, no, like all the money that I get off this channel, I'm literally saving for next year, and it's gonna fund everything my channel does. Like for example, we have a Conan Exile server that I'm funding myself, which next year will be funded. Maybe a Power World server and all this other stuff.
We still have the JT Power World server, so if you want that up and running, we can get that up for you. Relatively good. Okay. Ah! This is my dog.
GT never invited me.
What? Oh, he's forgetful, so. And then he
Yeah.
blames you for him being forgetful.
Yeah, like I told him to. I invited him back to be on the channel in June. That was when my granddad died, so I disappeared for a while. And I forgot all about it. I told him, like, yeah, I told him about it. It's just, if I haven't gotten in touch with you, remind me. He never has. And I'm just, when you said JT, I'm like, oh, that's right. I need to get into with him because
He's short-sighted as fuck. Don't
Oh,
worry,
yeah, I
don't
know.
contact him again. He's just
he
he's
had something happen too recently, which I won't get into for people. But I wanted to invite him around that time. I was like, oh no, maybe this is not the right time. So I was like, I'm gonna wait. Because like I just lurk on JT's channels. But like he does Kaiju Watch and all that stuff. It's really awesome.
and his kaiju watches are awesome. And he's
But-
been branching out. It's not just Godzilla stuff anymore. It's also he's been going into ye oldie movies like
Yeah.
Evil Dead and stuff like that.
Exactly. So yeah, how do you like being the Common Nerds co-host?
He's a fucking laugh and a half. He's so much fun. I actually always feel like I'm a fucking anchor around his neck. I realized my own inexperience as a streamer when he would tease me and leave me alone with the stream. This is like, no, nerd. There was a lot of clips of me yelling at him because he had to go do something like give his dog medicine and stuff like that, and he would just leave me alone. Which I'm like, you could go to the screen. Why did you do this to me? And how he's such a good streamer. He's so good. How he can
Yeah.
always be on as he is. It's not even a performance. It is just streamer, where it's him, but it's him giving his best self.
Yeah.
and
Well, actually,
he
I
constantly
think
says
the
he's a
rants
sinner,
are
so-
100% him, not his best self, just him.
Yeah.
And that's what I live for. Oh my god,
Mhm.
like I rant, but I hold myself back because I know with my PTSD, if I let myself go,
Yeah, you start breaking down, and then it becomes awkward, and it's not.
no,
It
I will,
stops you.
it will still be coherent. It will still like everything will be based on the subject. It's just I will no longer be mindful of how I say it.
That is, yeah.
Yeah, I lose myself. Like, let me just wait. There was a time in Hypnotic server. You know who Hypnotic is, right?
I remember running into him because a lot of people were reporting on something. I don't know if it was Melanie Mack or Ricada, but that's how I ran into him because
Yeah.
That's actually how I ran into Keto Casino too, because I'm like, why is no one fucking talking about this? Oh, geeks and gamers, neurotic, you guys are not talking about this, and I really want to know. Okay, I ran into a sublunary streamer who was commenting on Kino Casino, and then that's when I fell down the rabbit hole of Kino Casino, and then I'm there every fucking day.
Yeah, I'm obviously a mod for Hypnotic. I met Hypnotic around the same time I met the Common Nerd.
Yeah.
Or give or take. Anyways, so in his server, he actually had AI Final Fantasy VII characters, including one that was called Racist Barrett. Barrett being like
Did
a
he
black
call all
racist
the white
dude.
people crackers?
Pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
And he would respond to keywords you say, even though if you weren't talking to him. And it drove me insane one day. And so I went my typical Donald Duck berserk fashion, but this is Discord. So therefore, I don't have to be too mindful of what I say, because the mods will get me, and I was a mod, by the way, but there are mods above me. Like I was at the time, I'm like the last of the G1 mods, the Generation 1 mods. So there's we still had some of the original mods. I'm just saying I'm the last of them. And then any mods after me were a new generation. But I went off on Barrett.
The racist Barrett AI.
I was off on him, and so he said, "Oh, you want to be racist on me? I'll be racist on you." And I started just going down the rabbit hole of racism while going off on this AI character. Which, since he's AI, he just took all the words I said and just responded with more lies.
Wow.
That I actually had to leave. I didn't leave the server. I just left the chat, and I texted one of my friends. I was like, "Can you please delete mine and Barrett's thing right now? Because if I go back in there, I'm going to be going off again." Because I was just like so sick and tired of this character responding to everything I say and forgetting that he was AI. So I was like, okay, we're going to do this. Okay, that's why I keep myself controlled, because
It's fine.
while I'm not
not to feed
racist,
the trolls, even if the trolls are AI.
oh yeah, no, like I said, like while I'm not racist. When you want to troll me, I'll troll you, and I will troll for days. But that's when I realized I'm gonna get Hypno's channel server shut down if I don't step away, because someone's gonna slide in there and see all that stuff, screenshot it, send it to Discord. That channel no longer exists.
Discord is very selective.
Yeah, but anyway, so I want to start covering some of the news, but we've been almost at it for 2 hours. So we're not going to do a whole lot of news. It's just I did promise I was going to point stuff out.
Yeah.
This one per se, I want to hear your thoughts on it. So this is from Automaton, former PlayStation executive Shiya Yoshoda. I can never say Japanese things right. And I used to. Thank you. Says over
Yoshida.
Bob. We're just gonna call him Bob.
Okay. Shiyu Bob.
Yeah. Says overseas publishers are neglecting Korean indie games despite the market's high output.
All right. Let's see the.
This is from Automaton, by the way. With
What?
Korea exporting this is from Automaton, by the way.
Okay.
With Korea exporting not only big budget blockbusters like Lies of P and Stellar Blade, but also indie sized hits like Dave the Diver, which I haven't played, but I've seen streams of it being played. It's actually pretty good. You would think that the country is attracting more foreign publishers to invest in new indie games. Unfortunately,
Yes.
It doesn't seem to be the case, as former Sony Interactive executive Shuhei Yoshida discovered when he attended the Busan. Actually, that's not right. It's not Busan.
Busan.
It's Busan.
Is it? Oh, they say it with a B.
Yeah.
Okay, Busan.
See, I know my Korean is still pretty good. Indie Contact BIC. I mean, it's spelled Busan, but it's pronounced something different. Festival in August.
No, I actually understand.
In a recent interview for Game, Yoshida expressed This point on how a few publishers were in attendance compared to increasing number of quality Korean indie games being showcased at the event. Most of the
Yeah,
publishers
because
were
they're
Korean.
taking chances and putting more stuff out.
Yeah.
That's an instant. Why aren't you going for and highlighting this?
See, I'm gonna tell you something. I actually got an offer from my ex-wife's dad to work for one of his companies in Korea.
Mm-hmm.
And part of me is banging my head on the wall that I told him no.
Well, it was your ex-wife.
No. We were still married at the time.
Well, it depends, because if you have
my logic was, I told him, it's like, I appreciate the offer, but if I get into your company, I don't want it to be there because I'm your daughter's son.
Yeah.
Or
and that would have actually strained the relationship probably even further than it already
Which
was.
in Korea it would have mattered too much from what I understand. But for me it would, being a Westerner. It's like I want it to be under my own roots, my own logic. And I'm like, yeah, that would have been so awkward to be working for my ex-wife's dad now. But at the same time, I'm like, you mean I could have made a half some, like he actually, I don't know if he could influence Shift Up, but I do know he owns shares in Shift Up, the people who made Stellar Blade. And I said no to all that.
You woulda, coulda, shoulda, and don't go over and beat yourself up over it. But at the same time, you think of only the positives. You don't think of any of the negatives that would have come from that. There would have been extra stress because your relationship dynamics would have changed. Absolutely would have changed. And that's actually why I try to make sure I never work with family. Ever.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, I would never work with family either. But that was the whole thing. Of what my thing is, like, I was given that opportunity, but then if I took that opportunity, I wouldn't be here, annoying people.
See, guys, it all works out.
Yeah. See, so instead of making a few people suffer in an office, it's making the world suffer on the internet.
Suffer, world.
You got to think big here. You got to see the bigger picture. Anyways, so his argument is to cover is during COVID, Japan and Korea's indie scene was getting big, but I'm going to argue during COVID, every indie scene was getting big.
Oh
That
yeah,
was the
because
boom.
there was more demand because people couldn't leave, so they were trying to find more escapism.
Mm-hmm. And then when they realized their game, this is also when people started taking the Gamergate side of things, because they started seeing the shit games. Like, oh, I remember this game. It was awesome back when I played as a teenager. Let's see what Assassin's Creed Valhalla is like.
Oh god, that piece of shit. Like,
I haven't played, full disclosure.
No, I haven't played it either, but I just saw what was going on. It's just like, this isn't right, because this is just bullshit. It eventually went into the phase of, this is just bullshit, and you are bullshitting me because the original plot got killed. And you're just now making assassins in different time periods, is what you're doing. And instead of having an overarching plot. Like, Valhalla was kind of it was already getting kind of weird when they had the Native American. But Valhalla was the end all, where it's just like, you want to do something else, but your company is not allowing you to make a new game. So we're stuck trying to fit this rectangular peg into a triangle hole. This is just two things that should not be together, but we are forcing this to happen because they want to make a different game and they cannot move from their franchise.
Yeah.
It turned into a mess, and not even that bit. A lot of the stuff was a mess.
Yeah, which brings me a perfect segue, and this makes it fast.
Yes.
To this.
Ubisoft is cutting jobs within its publishing team. Oh no! Maybe you should go over and cut off from your HR team because they got you in this mess to begin with.
No, not the HR team.
Not
I
match.
covered this in the actual video, an expose that's 30 minutes long. I went through the entire history of Ubisoft.
Uh-huh.
Have you heard of the term Solar Days Informatique?
No, because I'm not gay, so I don't know French.
they are the union that is recognized by Ubisoft, and they're a socialist union. And they said us gamers are the enemy.
Well, you can.
They're the ones that filed the lawsuit against Sergei Haskell, who was the CEO and creative mind behind a lot of Ubisoft's greatest titles.
Oh, well, they
And
wanted to
accused him-
kill the figurehead so they can go from
Yeah, they're literally repeating what happened back in 2015. The whole believe the victim mentality. Now, I'm not saying these guys were innocent. I'm saying when I looked into the French court system, the French court system, they don't need evidence. They can rule based on testimony.
So it's like the Sun in England.
Pretty much. They literally ruled based on testimony of union members who filed the lawsuit.
Well,
and they're the ones
the
that
wording
that
can be used as a good. It's wording you can use for actual victims and not that you don't have to provide proof is a huge stickler, and that's actually why everyone very much liked the Johnny Depp Amber Heard one, where you can't just believe all women because common sense says there's going to be a fucking grifter and a liar. So.
Yeah. There's lots of cases in France's history where people have been falsely accused, and very few. I covered it in my video for anyone who wants to look into it. But there was actual parents and 19 people who were accused of child abuse.
Was this the monkeypox one?
No, this was
another one. Alrighty.
Child corn. Like they were using children as ladies of the night, children, and it found out. Yeah, I'm trying to be careful the YouTube thing because it's still very sensitive, right?
You tell them. I'm gonna go use the restroom again, but you tell them so I don't say something untoward.
But anyways, they were accused of it, found guilty, and then later on they found out the witnesses had lied and said they made certain parts up. And of the 19, only 2 are still in prison and were found with actual evidence to have done the thing. So 17 people in that case were wrongfully convicted. So that being said, that just shows you why you need proof. You don't believe the victim all the time, they're saying, but you need the evidence to support the case because there are people that will use that out of spite and this and that, and we've seen that with Gamergate. Let's see. The worst propaganda spreads to kids is that nepotism is bad. It can be bad. Sorry, I don't have my last line. It can be bad if it leads to unqualified hires or acrimony, but use your connections. Yeah, using connections is different, right? It's just that for me, I don't want people to see me as, oh, you're only here because you're family of the owner or stuff like that. That was something that I didn't want. But if I knew her dad and got the job before I married, her, I'd be more comfortable with it. Then they'd be like, yeah, you got the job before. I'd be like, actually, I got the job before I even met his daughter. I met his daughter over here at this other totally isolated event. Like that kind of thing. That's something I could be easily able to explain. So basically, long story short, the court system falsely accused 17 people of it, including the parents. And then when they found out later on, when they were cleared of all charges, it was because one of the witnesses that claimed they saw all this stuff said that he lied about it. And so that's why I tell people, like, evidence is, if someone says, that they've been wronged, by all means, we need to look into it. I'm not saying don't believe in them, but it's not wrong to ask for evidence. Because you have to understand that people can be innocent and wrongfully charged.
Yes, that's absolutely what it is. Because as much as you want to believe a truthful person, you also have to acknowledge that there are some really good liars. So that's why I love how technology is getting more advanced. You can find this a lot easier, a lot quicker, and
Mhm.
you can record horrific stuff a lot faster, and so you can actually get authorities involved.
Yep. And because and the thing is they're Yves Guillemot, the CEO, he's no longer running his own company. That it now has co-CEOs, but the union he recognized,
Tired of
right?
the bullshit, but
Yeah. Well, yeah, no, it's literally been put on the news last year. But they the union promised in 2018 before when they got recognized that they would cut down cancel culture. That has never happened. The cancel culture actually got worse. They promised fair wages, also has not
that's
happened.
like
And
most
they
of this
promised
lie.
that there will be job security, which
That's also a lie because
yeah,
that's a socialist thing, not a the only way you have some job security is through government.
yeah,
And
which
that's it. That's why you take a really, really crappy salary. It's because you have job security. That's always been the trade off between government jobs and business jobs.
yeah. Well, in this case, they literally created something which I call socialist corporatism. So originally, in Ubisoft's founding, they were a capitalistic company. Starting from nothing, building their own company, and
Yeah,
making products
they
people
did the
love.
hard work. And then
And then when
socialists. You never
no,
see
no, no,
socialists
no, hold
really
on, hold
making
on.
it big.
Before the socialists happen, and it does
Yeah,
have socialist roots, I explained it in my video. They go into corporatism by the time
yeah.
of Uplay. That's when they started having the digital rights management, and people were feeling like they were leasing, not owning their game. That was actually a line by a journalist back then, and I lost the article.
Oh,
And then by
that would be great.
2019, I think 2019, 2020 is when corporal socialism became a thing in Ubisoft. And that's what we're
Oh,
seeing now. Ubisoft stocks have dropped down to €8 a share.
well,
They
it's
were on top
because
of the
they're not
world and
making
they fell.
anything. Their key franchises, it's tarnished. It's very
Mhm.
tarnished. It's not as cool. It's not as interesting anymore. And they're not making anything new to kind of keep the baseline people there.
Mhm. They laid off a lot of people, and Red Storm was one of the first companies they bought, if I remember correctly.
Alrighty.
Because Red Storm did, if I remember correctly, Red Storm's the one that they originally did the top. Red Storm was one of the game companies that Tom Clancy developed for his Tom Clancy games. If that's the right one,
Oh,
if I remember, they
that's
bought Red
sad.
Storm in early 2000, and they were doing great. And then all of a sudden, around 2020, they failed. If they did not address DRM back in 2010, 2009, 2010 when it first came out, Uplay, and didn't do the woke crap, the stuff we're seeing now would not be in existence until about 2032, for my calculations.
I
The
think it would
woke
have
shit
gotten
amplified it.
in anything. I think wokeism would have gotten into anything and everything. It doesn't
Mhm.
matter. I don't think. I think short of maybe Steam and maybe like a couple of handful of companies, and even Steam may have some wokeisms in it.
Mhm.
Um, the woke culture is a very venomous, cancerous culture where it worms its way
Oh
in,
yeah.
settles up, and then starts picking at things here and there. And this, they make their
Oh,
arguments
you
very,
would
very
love to watch
reasonable.
my
But
video then. I'm not trying to show my video, but you would definitely. I don't say it, but the data kind of hints at what you're saying,
yeah,
because I go through
it's
the entire timeline and I
eh, eh,
mention certain things that you'll be like, "Yep, yep, that proves my point."
well,
Your
that's why
point
I
in this
say
case.
wokeism and woke and this like weird obsession with inoffensiveness, I guess, would be the most charitable way to go over and say it. Um, it's ultimately selfish because they
Yeah.
don't want to make anything. They want to go over and rip things apart and put stuff in front of you, and they expect you to like it, and they blame you if you don't. So
Mhm.
that's not what you do in an entertainment industry.
Yes. So, and I think the main reason why Ubisoft is losing things is, yes, number one, their games are shit. Number
They
two,
weren't terrible. They just weren't up to the same quality they've given before.
yeah, which is in my view shit. You're like, I'm
Fair.
done making excuses for Ubisoft.
Mhm.
Like you can say
That's fair.
you made a lot of money, but if you come out launch day with bugs, I can overlook an indie company because they're a shoestring budget, maybe they don't have a lot of pros, stuff like that. You're a multi-billion-dollar industry with thousands of titles. You can literally copy, paste, and modify from previous games you had. Like you're building Assassin's Creed Shadows from Assassin's Creed, what, Mirage was the last one? I can't remember.
It's all
You
garbage at this point, but
Yeah, you literally, all you have to do is take the lessons you learn and fix them, right, and modify them. You're not rebuilding the thing, you're just taking that same engine and you're replacing another one. And people say, oh no, that's not what they're doing. They're not building things from the ground up. They have the technology. This is why we have game design documents. And so when we make another game, we can figure out what worked and what didn't work in the previous games and use that to as a staple for our next game.
but when you have feedback like, oh, they didn't like this because racism, that kind of messes with game docs.
Yeah, that too, and the fact that like we were saying before, they removed all the talented people, and they ended up getting these pieces of shit that don't know what they're doing, that
Oh,
wanted free jobs.
that
Or
reminds me. If I may have a little bit of a not a tangent, but a little bit of a
go right
they
ahead,
think
'cause I'm about to
the
use the
they think
bathroom.
that
Go right ahead, 'cause I'm about to use the bathroom.
go pee, massive dragon. Um,
Okay.
you bastard, get me out of this. Go.
I'm just kidding, but yeah, I'm gonna.
Okay, so that actually reminds me of, if you guys would go over and recall, it's called was it Take-Two? Who made the Walking Dead Choose Your Own Adventure game that was all the rage? Everyone knew about Clementine and whoever kept Clementine alive. I don't really care that much. Um, it reminded me of that when they would have said, it's this magic, it's this company's magic, where it doesn't matter who's in it, it doesn't matter what's put out, it's because we have the brand recognition, and that'll cause the magic to happen. And it was absolute bullshit. It's why we can't remember what it can't have been Take-Two. Nerds. Telltale! Hasso got my back. It was Telltale. Telltale, who was abusing its workers, treating them like garbage, giving them really a lot of crap, and then telling them basically they were disposable. And it was the Telltale magic that would go over and save the company. I think Telltale doesn't exist anymore. I'm pretty sure people go over and used to say Bioware magic. And we see that as much as well when we had one producer go over and saying, like, oh, the people in the cave. It was the weirdest analogy I've ever heard in my life. But the cave dwellers of Bioware, who would buy Bioware games, would come out. And they expect them to buy everything. It doesn't matter what the product was. They'd buy it because Bioware. No. No, they found that out with Belgard. They already tested patience with Dragon Age Inquisition, that POS game. Yeah, they closed down. Good to know. Should have invited me on Lavistro. Ultra Trapper, he should have. But yeah, Bioware Magic was a thing. Oh, they said it. They could pull things together at the last minute because they did it a couple times. But that's when they actually cared. Bioware, when Bioware was good, it was so good. I don't have the nostalgia that other people have with Baldur's Gate, but I was a Neverwinter Nights fangirl. I fucking love Neverwinter Nights. I loved all the stories that's involved with that. I love they put you in a hub world, before they open you up into a new, more open world. And this idea of assuming your brand is going to save you versus the people that make that brand possible is absolutely catastrophic. I don't know who thought that was a good idea. And yes, for artists, for a single artist, you can get by on your name. You can just make an ice cream cone, sell it for $1 million if you have the correct branding. That doesn't work for a game company.
No.
Hi, Lavistro.
Yeah, sorry. Sorry. My son was using the downstairs bathroom, so I had to go all the way to the upstairs bathroom.
You
And
had
the
to
lights were
fly across mountains.
Yeah, pretty much. I had to go all the way to the upstairs bathroom. Forgot that my son locked the door to the bathroom that's his bathroom. So I had to go all the way to my bathroom that's at the upstairs at the other end of the house.
You don't have a key?
No, it's not a key thing. He locked it shortly before Dragoncast came on and forgot to unlock it. He told me, Dad, I can't get back in the bathroom. I was like, please tell me the cat's not in there. It's like, nope. I was like, okay, I will deal with it after Dragoncast, which means I just need to get a peanut butter knife and twist the thing, and I'll be able to get back in there. No worries.
I'm used to Olden locks where the key is like a little button thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's not Nui locks, where it's just a little flicker thing you put so no one walks in on you. It doesn't actually stop burglars.
Yeah.
We always have little keys resting above the door frame just in case. Like, are you okay? No answer. I'm getting the key.
Yeah, here this one doesn't have a key, but you can use a screwdriver. It's like it has a little slot. You just use a screwdriver or a peanut butter knife, and it'll easily slide and unlock itself. Mm-hmm. So it's just at the time I'm like, I don't have time. I'll do it later. And he was downstairs just like, I'm Dad, don't come in here. I was like, next time, son, close the door. Please close the door.
I'm busy.
But anyways, yeah. We
were watching a news thing. Ubisoft's firing people of their producers.
Yes, they were, and that goes into another thing that I want to point out because Ubisoft. I did want to talk about. We'll talk about this because it's an Ubisoft title, but especially since it relates to what you were saying about.
Ubisoft Magic, Bioware Magic, Telltale Magic.
Yeah, and the magic was passion. That's what I believe.
Yes, that's always what it was. It's 2/3 passion, 1/3 organization, and that's how you make games. You have an organizer to make sure everything works well, and you have the passionate people pushing, and it's always a give and take, and it's always a difficulty. But that's how you get a lot of really good games, is when you have people who actually want to go over and make the product and people who want to help them make that product.
Yep. And one of those people was Michael Ansel. He was one of the OG developers at Ubisoft back in the day. He left shortly around 2020 or something like that, when this whole scandal was going on. And he was accused of that stuff. He says that's fake news. I've never done anything. But when he was a teenager, he had to get his mom's permission, and he helped them create their games. And then he came back after college and created Rayman.
Oh,
Rayman?
They buried Rayman. Like, even if they made Rayman nowadays, you would not see Rayman ever. Oh, like, here's the thing. These companies are so stupid and bitter. They don't even allow for fan remakes, which, if you play it right, rather than asking for a cease and desist, you should be maybe promoting a good fan remake to kind of build up what would have no pressure to then maybe make a new game.
Yep.
Rather than revitalizing and eating a corpse, which is what was going to be KOTOR 1, and then all of that fell through.
So this is basically a fan remake of the game. And
Now, I don't have any nostalgia with Rayman, but I do recognize that he was a very important character, kind of like ToeJam and Earl, or Earthworm Jim. Very, very important characters.
yes, I can't do I'm using Wi-Fi, so I can't do the whole zoom out thing, because then if I do, it'll freeze up.
Uh-huh.
But this is a fan made version of the game that's apparently on Steam.
It's on Steam? Oh, well, that's probably... You can't put it on Steam. You can't... I don't...
Unless I heard it wrong.
I don't know if you can do that, because there's certain copyright things where...
I haven't found it yet. That's what I was hearing, but they don't say it here. I'm going to make that perfectly example. They didn't make it here, but this is a fan remake.
And it's lovely, and actually, in truth, allow for fan remakes to go out. So good ones. If they're like really, really, really bad and disrespectful, curb that shit. But if it's a fan remake made out of love, not only do you get to judge how much interest there is in this franchise and this character, but you can also see what works and what doesn't. So then you can go over and steal that, because it's not copyright, because it's fan. And you can just go over and make it into your next game.
Yep, and that's the link if you want to write it down yourselves for people. It's not on Steam apparently, but
it couldn't be, because it's still copyright.
Yeah, because I couldn't find it, but someone told me it's on Steam. But I brought this in here because I knew eventually one of us is going to say games have passion and games that they don't. This was made by a fan. There's an Unreal Engine Legend of Zelda game where they tried to remake Legend of the Twilight Princess, the Twilight Princess version, on UE5. Gorgeous. And I played the demo, and it's not as bad and buggy as AAA UE5 games are right now.
I feel a little bit bad about Twilight Princess, because it feels like a game that wasn't quite right. There's something about Twilight Princess that doesn't quite click in terms of a Zelda game. Skyblivion is still coming out after the Oblivion remaster. Did they finish the Morrowind one, Jocomania?
I think they did. Oh, but I think what they're doing now is they're making... For understand, it's kind of like when they did the Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas game. It's a mod that connects both of them together.
Well, I don't want that. That's absolutely useless. But if you could go over and remake the Fallout New Vegas and the Fallout 4 engine, that would be appreciated.
Oh, yes. I want that. The Fallout New Vegas is my favorite one because I did it by accident, because I had this thing where I didn't want to unalive unique characters in case I needed them for later.
Yeah.
Because especially after Oblivion, I'm like, okay, maybe I needed some of these characters.
Yeah. When you were like, well, Tardandrius went over and died, so you can't finish the quest of the roses. It's like,
oh, that
Tardandrius, why did you fight a crab? Damn it!
And then I'm like, who's this guy? And I go look it up online. I'm like, oh, I got bored and unalived him.
Get the best weapon of the game. It's a fucking fisherman.
So I literally when I played this one, I tried to get the bad guy on my side. I thought I could do something like I could convince to be on his side and like have him arrested instead. But when the villagers found out that I was on his side, they came after me, and I ended up giving the town to the bad guy in New Vegas, and I was like, well, I guess I'm an evil character now.
You gave him to Caesar?
No, I gave it's like when you first, I forget the name, but in the game when you first wake up right from your coma in New Vegas, right? They mentioned that there's this guy this gang that's causing problems. I gave it
The
to that
Powder
game.
Gangers. You gave
Yes.
Sunnyvale. Was it Sunnyvale?
Yeah. And to be fair though, it was my third playthrough.
So you were experimenting.
I was trying to see if I could keep the guy alive for later.
It's okay. It was your version of college.
Yeah, but after that, I was like, you know what? I never played a villain character before since KOTOR, so
God, they let you know. Like anyone who wanted to power trip hard, they give you that for KOTOR. They're like, you're going evil now.
They
Every
let
time
you
they
know.
go over and play the music.
KOTOR 2 is good though. What's her name?
Freya.
Freya. She was a well-written character. Oh my!
Best mentor character, best character ever. Like, I finished a playthrough of KOTOR 1, and that's a good Star Wars story. KOTOR 2 was a great and amazing examination of the Force. Kreia being not only beautifully voice acted, but voice acted by an amazing actress who also played Teresa, I believe it is for Fable 2, and they use her because she's such a good voice actor. But Kreia's ability to walk that tightrope of good versus evil in the Force, it's so satisfying. And she's such a satisfying character to interact with. And you can be mad at her, you can tell her off, you can go over and do all this stuff, and she's very stoic. She doesn't care that you're mad at her. And because that's not what she needs from you. She doesn't need your emotional validation. She needs you to understand.
She doesn't care if you go bad or good. She just cares that you understand what your actions mean. That's all she's ever cared about, and that's my thing. Like I told you, like, yeah, you're still satisfying Kreia because she's not going to be satisfied in your actions. She's going to be satisfied that you did them for the right reasons, and you understand
those reasons.
Yes,
and the consequences thereof.
Yeah. Speaking of which, this one's going to be a twofer topic.
Let's do it.
So, let me see this one. So we all know about. I don't think this is one. I think this is the wrong one.
God, get me away from. Not everything needs to be an XYZ 3000 chromosome bullshit. Get your trans out of my fucking games.
No, that's not what they mean by transmedia.
I'm gonna put you in the non-existent dick.
That's not what they mean by transmedia. They're talking about the Mario's Galaxy is going to be the sequel movie to Super Mario Brothers, but that one I was actually going to cover in one of my videos.
Didn't the Mario Brothers movie it was good, but it kind of sucked? It was like
it was good and bad.
It was a beige.
It was literally an almost one, in my personal view, because I haven't watched the 90s one in a very long time. It was an almost 1-for-1 of the original, just more modified.
And
because they're both loser plumbers. But yeah, like that's literally how it starts, and then they save the world. But instead of doing the whole King Koopa, Bowser's a capitalist corporate guy, whatever, and dinosaurs, they just went into the Mario world. So that was, it was a lot better and a lot worse. Plus, I'm a big sellout.
I'm sorry, I still love that tiny bomb thing that was just walking around and then it.
That's true.
That was great. I love the tiny-headed Koopa boys. Like, I know that a lot of people would make fun of it and do make fun of it, but I still find it very charming. It was totally not a good... it's not a good representation of Super Mario, but I do love that film just because of how batshit it is.
Yeah. It was... I tell people, like, to be fair... Video game movies today could have been video game movies of the 90s. It could have been worse, but at the same time, the 90s video game movies like Street Fighter and all them, they had its charm because you could tell it was a sign of the times of that decade.
Well, it was
cheesy as all get out. Like,
it was back when they didn't think certain movies were beneath them, and they probably did, but they still gave their best. It was just like, this is dumb, but maybe I can use a performance to show that I don't suck for this stupid movie I have to be in or help improve, or maybe you had some actual Street Fighter lovers in there. Who knows?
So here, I think this is a personally bad case. This could be a twofer. So I'm going to skim through this,
All right.
and then I'm going to give you another one because it's a 2-for-1 topic.
Alrighty.
So
Let's
So
hear it.
Nintendo's game key cards and pricing are not about greed, ex-Capcom dev argues. In my view, opinion discarded.
No, let him say what's the quote,
Yeah, we're gonna go.
and let me
They're
go over and
acting to
explain
protect
why
the
it doesn't
industry.
work. Okay,
So hold
that
on.
is okay.
So
Let me know when it can go off.
in an ex post, Sunkermaiden says that in one point of criticism he considers legitimate when it comes to game key cards is they can ultimately lead to a game you rightfully purchased becoming unplayable at the publisher's discretion.
Stop
At the
killing
same
games.
time,
Stop killing games.
yeah. At the same time, he flips the argument over, commenting, but can non-digital goods be used forever? For the most part, no. Physical games have a lifespan and they eventually break. Digital goods, on the other hand, don't have a lifespan.
Oh, tell me about emulators, cunt.
Yeah.
I can't say that. I'm sorry.
No, you can say emulators. We've said it so many times.
I said the other word. Don't pay attention to it.
I
Maybe
have British people
maybe
on
they
my
won't notice.
show. It's their word. It's like the N-word for certain.
It's the N word
certain
for
cultural
black
groups.
people. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm partially British. Most of my genes come there.
Yes. Well, actually, I think most of your genes come from China and be sold at Britain, which you buy and get shipped over here. But that's a different argument. But you got to admit, Sydney Sweeney has great genes.
She has great genes.
So, anyways, his argument is that it doesn't. Digital goods last forever. Now, I'm a coder,
No.
and I can tell you,
They-
digital goods don't last forever.
No. They still
Some-
need a physical device to go over and play them.
But here's where the second part comes in that I'm going to point out in here, and it's one we're going to focus on. All right. So we had that argument from him. And here we have from Inmate earning the trust of major Japanese developers like Capcom is not an easy task.
Why do you have to earn their trust?
Because, hold on. But GOG is getting there one classic at a time. We asked GOG about preservation and censorship. So GOG is different from Steam in the fact that they tell you when you buy your copy from them, you actually own it. You own
No,
your
that's-
copy.
That's actually a thing in California that went over and occurred recently. They had to
Yeah.
inform all California citizens you don't actually own a physical copy of the game.
I covered that law and that the Steam updated their SSA
Terms of service.
because of it. Because that
And
way, if you live in California, you buy a game, they have to let you know because you're in California that you're not
Yep.
buying a game, you're leasing it.
You're buying. Here's the thing: you're buying a license, but here's the problem, and this is actually where Stop Killing Games. If you haven't looked it up, please do. Fuck yeah, inside Friedman's mind. It's saying it's a license and it's saying it's a service, but every license and every service has an end by date.
Yep.
And they don't have that. So you cannot hide behind that to go over and say that we do not own the games. And that's going to be very frustrating.
Mhm.
I don't know what you're agreeing to, Gaio.
I think
but,
you think about you're saying the end by date.
Yeah. So those things do, if we're going to go over and play this little, if we're going to play this fan dance, let's go over and do a full Monty. I want to go over and know how long I'm going to be allowed my license and how long this service will last then. If I do not own the product and it's just buying a license, just buying a service, you need to tell me how long that is.
Yep. The thing is, they do, but people don't do something, which is my favorite clip, and I've been waiting to use this.
Are you saying you want out? Fine, you don't want to be part of this? Then just sign right here. No, you didn't read it! This says we don't ever have to let you out and then we can do whatever we want! Damn it, why won't it read?
Why won't it read? No, I get that, but that's actually a thing where they know. As soon as they go over, they hide behind this, like, oh, we're just licensed. It's kind of like,
Mhm.
I only had one cookie that I grabbed with my one hand that I accidentally grabbed with the second one. They know as soon as they go over and say, you don't own your game, and you will have to pay a continuous fee. That's when they're going to go over and lose an entire base.
Yeah, because we throw an enormous us gamers will throw an enormous amount of money about games we really want
Yeah.
and we really have passion for.
And
For
these are stupid
example,
little games. They're just
Yeah.
stupid, dumb little games. And just because they got caught up in fat client versus thin client, if that's not
what are you
a
talking
that's
about?
not a
Halo
turn
Reach
on
was
weight.
fucking awesome. I waited in line, young lady. I waited in line got off duty in the military. Didn't even bother to shower because I didn't want to be the last one in line at 6 p.m. Changed into civilians, got in my car, broke the speed limit on base to the PX to where there was a GameStop store at, sat my happy ass as number 15 in line with no one behind me. And by the time at midnight, when the store opened up to sell Halo Reach, there was 100 people behind me, and I was the last one to get, even though I reserved it, the Halo Reach special edition with the crate and the statue with all the characters on it. I was a big Halo fan back then.
That's bad customer service. You first one there, you have everything set up, and you were still the last person to get your shit.
Well, no, I'm saying I was the last one. I wasn't the last one to get my shit. I was like saying they only had a certain amount for the
But you were
pre-orders.
the first one there.
No, I wasn't the first one there. I was number 15. Even after all that I did to leave the
You
base.
say you were the first one at the building, sir.
I tried to be the first one at the building. I knew I wouldn't be because everyone wanted that game. The whole base and their dad and their son, everybody was there. The garrison commander was there to buy a copy for his grandson.
Oh,
It's like,
man, he could have gone. You guys could have worked something out.
yeah, but no, I'm saying they were only able to get a certain amount, and it wasn't first come first serve. It was pre-ordered for first.
Reserves
Right.
first.
So I got my pre-order. I was just the last one to get my pre-order.
Mm-hmm.
And then if they had any copies after it was for sale, everyone there wasn't there just for the copy of the case. They wanted that special edition collector's pack. That was like $100 at the time. You got the medal, you got the statue, you got all kinds of cool stuff with it, right? It was a big this back when they cared about their promotional stuff. They gave you actual nice, decent shit for your money.
What, they didn't give you a bag that disintegrated?
There was no, you didn't. It had a carry handle on it. It was a case with all the stuff in it. It was cool. Like it was cool.
I just made a Fallout 76 joke.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't care about Fallout 76 that much.
They gave you a customary bag, and it was just fell apart. It was garbage.
Yeah, I remember that now. Yeah. But to be fair, Bethesda's always been kind of cheap.
Well,
to be fair, but
they rely
anyways,
upon their audience to fix their game. Anyways, continuing on, sir.
Yeah. So, anyways, like they mentioned the moon and stop killing games, but they're going to talk with GOG, right? GOG, probably known as Good Old Games, is a digital distribution platform and subsidiary of CD Projekt, Poland-based game developer known for The Witcher and Tabletop series. Right. Since its launch in 2008, GOG has been focused on preserving and redistribution of old games for modern PCs, alongside publishing new AAA and indie titles. Automaton recently got together with I can't never say that name right. Senior PR rep of GOG.
Greppi? Not Greppi. That's some
Piotr. It's like it's
French.
Piotr. Yeah. Who cares?
French
Sorry,
name.
I don't care.
Fix your
Great.
language.
You're working for a
man.
good company. Don't get me wrong. You're working for a good company. Except I don't know about. I can't speak for Sunky here, but I'm always been biased against the French.
Well, you have amazing food, French people, but my God, are you
French fries are
convoluted
awesome.
as fuck? Right.
I broke your brain. Anyways, who talked to us about the GOG preservation program, sharing about how games are preserved, what it takes for a worship game.
You're cutting out, sir.
Who talked to us about GOG preservation program, sharing insight into games
Chat confirm if he's cutting up for you or if it's just me.
It's probably me. My son. I just give the evil eye at because he has his TV on and his console. So he's
Tell him to pick a lane.
Oh, I know.
I'm
That's
gonna
what
go use
giving
the
the evil eye.
restroom again.
Yeah. Yeah. Issue.
Yes. Okay. Good.
That's not me. It's everyone else. Damn patriarchy and white supremacy, racism in gaming. With that being said, I'm just kidding, guys. I love you guys. Anyways, that being said, what it takes for a retro game to be added to the catalog, and if we can expect more Japanese titles. So I want to wait for Sunker, but I guess while we're doing that, I'm going to look for the part I wanted to get to. Let's see, where's it at? Let's see. Where is it at? 'Cause I was reading this. It's a big, long interview, but let's do it this way.
I'm back.
All right. So you know what GOG is, right?
Good old games.
Yeah, right. So you know exactly a little bit more about it. Are you aware of
A
the people
little
off
bit
this
more.
thing?
They're kind of like they're not an alternative to Steam. They're just a side runner. I always viewed them not as a competitor but as side runner.
Yeah.
Unlike Epic, which Epic Games, they
Yeah,
deserve to
Epic
go
is-
over and burn at a fire.
Epic Games, however, no one buys from Epic.
No one likes them.
No one does. They even try to make it to where they like try to say, oh, if you use our engine and sell on the market, you will get more profit than if you sold it just on Steam. So they tried that, and people still go on Steam exclusively.
No, it's if you want to go over and give more to the game creatives, to the creators of the game, you go to Good Old Games. You don't go to Epic Games, which makes most of their money from Tencent. You can't trust anyone who's in bed with a
Chinese
communist. You can't trust a communist corporation because they do a whole bunch of money laundering anyways. So you don't actually know that your money's going there, or if it's being transferred somewhere else, and they had excess elsewhere. It's really weird. I hate Epic Games, and that's actually where I refuse to play Fortnite and all that other garbage.
And here's the sad thing: I use Epic, and the thing is, it's like Epic Unreal Engine 5 has always had performance issues, and people have it wrong. They literally
give it a blue pill.
Well, no, see how to put it. People think that Epic Games or Unreal Engine purposely renders females bad on purpose, and I was like, being that I do game design, I'm like, no, that's not how that works.
No.
And I showed that live on stream one time. I was like,
no, you can make
I know
females on the Unreal Engine. Yeah. They just don't.
Yeah, it's all about how you render the engine. It's the engine doesn't know the difference between one FBX from another. It
doesn't check for tits or not.
Yeah, it just renders what it's being told to render. And the people that make the women like that are either people who did that on purpose or had no skill.
And no, it was on purpose because we've seen this multiple times where we get perfect one-to-one images of men. And for some reason, the women don't get perfect one-to-one images when they do a facial scan. So it's very much on purpose, and they're trying to make women ugly.
Yeah.
And they're trying to make ugly women beautiful, assuming that it's because they were marketed. Because they think because a certain type of woman was marketed as being beautiful, people are stupid enough to believe they are beautiful. That has never been the case, not even with a capitalist especially with a capitalist market. Because capitalist market just went with what people want. People want really, really pretty chicks to be wearing underwear and stuff. So we're going to put them wearing underwear and stuff to sell the fantasy so more girls go to Victoria's Secret. That has always been capitalism.
And here's the thing, like, well, yeah, if we change society to where people see the culture as fat women are beautiful, we will be able to succeed. I'm like, yeah, except for one problem with that. Men know what they want. I'm sorry, we do.
And so do women. To go over and try to find your validation via a commercial actually just shows that those people are mentally disturbed and should not be marketed to at all because they are highly unreliable.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, art is it's a form of beauty, and pretty women, they're beautiful because of how they're shaped, how they're formed. There is a certain. Let me put it this way: there is a certain. I'll use myself for an example.
It's a twofer.
Yeah, I'll say
it's a twofer. You go first, and I'll give my 2 cents.
Like, if I see a woman with a military high and tight haircut, I'm going to see her as ugly. I'm going to see her as oppressed. I'm going to see her as weighted down and burdened. But when I see a woman with free flowing hair, yeah, it's granted it's opposite because hair is heavy, right? I have a sister who has really long hair. Mm-hmm. But when I see a woman with hair and she's walking or the wind's blowing and it's blowing the hair back, it kind of reminds me of a stallion or a horse running in a field, which people associate that with freedom as a free spirit and independent. I don't know why that is, but I've noticed women seem more confident, in my view, when I was doing art, especially in game design. Women with longer hair seem more confident and seem to be more free. Yeah, and in their femininity, than opposed to I'm going to have short hair.
That plays into some cultures that just play on that naturally, actually. So there is some stuff that naturally does that. There's multiple cultures that have, when you're young, you have your hair a certain way. It's usually loose and it's usually freeform. But once you get married, you start to braid it. You start to put it more in control because you're not a freeform girl anymore. You're a wife and a mother.
Yeah.
So as your status changed, so too does your hair.
Yeah, exactly.
To go over and say with a level of attractiveness, it's a mixture of two things. Sometimes you are unfortunate enough to where your genes don't work well and you got beaten with the ugly stick. It doesn't. It just happens, and it happens to everyone. It's not just women; it's for men too, and it just happens.
Look at me; I don't look like I was beaten with a pretty stick.
But there's other things where there are different types of beauty. If you want to, if you like the more lithe, thin beauty, that's one thing. If you like the more thicker, like curvier beauty, that's a different beauty too. And I do like that they claim that they're trying to go over and
they're trying to make Clayface beautiful. Clayface from Batman. That like, good luck. Even Clayface knows that if he wants to attract people, he can't look like a big blob of
maybe have all your teeth. Let's start there.
He like Clayface, literally, he'll transform himself to lure his targets in and this and that. He won't look like Clayface. But Clayface, the real part of it comes out when he wants to scare and instill fear into his prey. Like, that's literally Clayface right there.
There's some things with beauty and intimidation, and some things are just instinctual, and a lot of people don't like to accept that.
I'm just trying to point out, it's like, even Clayface knows there's actually, if you want to attract people, you got to use beauty. Because if he used his original form, he would never be able to attract. He's a
big old sand monster. No one wants that.
Yeah, no one wants to talk to that thing. So that's why he doesn't show his true form. And that's just the thing with how humans are. Like, we're born hardwired a certain way. Guys are always going to be attracted to a certain thing, and that's how it is. Women the same way too. But humans in general are going to be attracted to beauty, and you can't redefine what that beauty is because it's not a social thing.
Yeah.
It's like a lizard being attracted to bright shiny objects.
Yeah, it's not that society told people what was attractive. It was people found it attractive first, and then society melded itself around that.
Yes. But so anyways,
Because I do have to sleep, but continue.
yeah. Anyways, we're gonna wrap it up. I actually saw the time we've been going 3 hours. I was trying to make this go. I was trying not to let it go over 30 minutes past the time of 2 hours. But, this
is what happens with me. Like dithering.
You're not the only one though. We've done it with quite a few people. It's just we do nerd talks here, and what did we do today? We just ended up doing nerd talks, and that's fine. You know, that's
again I'm not that interesting of a person. I'm a 30-something living with her parents.
You can. I usually have about 6 to 7. I have according to my thing here, I have 6 people on X, 7 people on YouTube, 13 people total, which is my usual numbers. Mm-hmm. And we've been going for about 3 hours. People find you interesting.
No, I'm not.
Because usually right now Hypnotic is on, and that's my biggest part of my base. And so I start losing people an hour during the show. That's why I try to keep all the interview of the person within an hour. So I got 1 hour before people watch Hypnotic to get to humanize my interviewing, the person I'm interviewing. So I was like, we did that.
In truth, you did this is kind of the best way to suck yourself. Shut up, you're all liars. Lavistro, you did. This is kind of the best interview because, again, my backstory, me as a person, I'm not that interesting. I don't live an interesting life. The only thing of interest that I can give to the world and internet is to go over and it's just my interpretations of things. That is the most interesting thing about me, and it's always been the most interesting about me because I listened to a whole bunch of stuff growing up. Not horrific crap hippie bullshit, but I used to listen to CBS Productions and stuff like that, and Minding Spatch and all that noise. But I'm not interesting. I can hope that my takes are, and I can hope to entertain.
Well, I think you're a very interesting Sunker, and it's like because you're a woman or anything like that. I really do. You know, one thing I noticed about you, to be perfectly honest, is that you're quicker than I am to dissect a story and literally use actual technical jargons of the story effectively better than I can. By watch SunkerMaidens on Dark when Who is good. She will tell you certain things about when Who is good. Like she'll literally dissect the character on the spot, and I'm like, yes, you nailed it. Like she's literally. You really do a lot of critical thinking, and you add weight to your thing.
I can't say that's really me being smart, and please don't watch me because usually I'm not drunk. But
Sunker, I'm going to tell you right now. Sunker, I'm going to tell you right now. I don't lie. I am snarky. I am mean, and when I say something nice to you, it's usually because it's not because I want you to feel better. It's usually because I'm honest. Because I don't want to be caught up in a lie and say, "Oh, well, Sunker is horrible at story writing." You're like, you just said she was good. Well, what I mean to say is, no, I'm always honest through and through. I'm very blunt and honest. But
that is true.
I brought you on here because number one, you're a friend. Number two, you're a gamer, and you're a female gamer. Female gamers are rare. So what's the one thing I want to know? What's the one thing, especially in a male dominant hobby? What's the one thing male gamers are going to know? That we never want to. We want to ask and never do, or we ask and we regret the decision, whatever the case may be. What's the question? Why are you into games? And then I was like, okay, she's saying this and that. She's saying all the things. Let's test it out. And what I've seen in this whole interview, you literally just go naturally talking about you draw from different games. You bring your own logic into it. That's not sexism in games. It's I like this
you're not better than you're better than shite. That's why we like you. Well, to go over and fully answer the original question, why did you get in games? Why do you like games? I originally went over and said it started off as it was a good detour when I got bored at Grandma's house, basically. And then I tried to get more into it to get boys to like me. And then after a while, I started to like the games themselves because they are absolute escapism. And they are a little bit of D&D role-playing in that you can throw yourself into another universe. And then another world, another universe, another thing. So you can drop all your worries behind. It's behind you. I am now a Space Marine. And that's all you need to be. And to tie it all together, when wokeism got into gaming, that killed it instantly. We're seeing a very slow death, and maybe they can go over and get the cancer out. But when wokeism got into gaming, that escapism, that need to not be wherever I am, just left. Because now I have this shrilling harpy via the game's HRDEIES yelling at me and wanting me to pay attention to concerns that I may or may not care about.
Exactly. This is why I try to find different games. Now, I know you hate this, Sunker, but I do this a lot, okay?
Yes, sir.
You're not the only one that does. You're not the only one targeting because Common Nerd does that. But most people will be like, okay, where can people find you, this and that. I used to give people the option to hijack my stream for no longer than 15 minutes. And that's like, believe me, they're like, I actually had people hawk their wares, like their merchandise, what they come, like Mugen Lord, if you ever heard of him, tried to sell his comic books and his channel, which was fine. That's what I did this for, because he was the first big personality I had on here. And I was like, how do I get him on here to talk about his, I don't want to talk about the culture war anymore, because that was a small channel, not monetized. I was like, oh, I could give this, I could say, you can show your shit, you can take control of my channel for 15 minutes max. And he did that. And I let him do his thing. And then I do that for everyone else who ever want. So it's basically 15 minutes for you.
You did not warn me.
I told you this.
You did not.
Yes, I did. I told you.
You said find a game I've never played before. You didn't say I'd be.
Oh, I didn't. Oh my
no,
God.
it's okay. I can. It won't be
so
much of self-promotion, but if you want to put a clock up, I got your back. I got stuff I want other people to see.
Okay, sure. Just keep it family friendly, not OnlyFans friendly.
Get me no, don't you freaking dare. I won't do it when it's just me. I can't stand on the stage alone. I need you beside me.
Phrasing. Oh my God,
right.
Phrasing.
All right.
How do I minimize myself?
Oh, there is a timer. All right.
I'm going to mute myself, and I will keep it.
Jesus Christ, this is such a bad idea. You did not. All right, off the cuff. I don't have my own self-promotion stuff. I F around on Rumble. I F around on other people's streams. I F around on JT Savage's stream on Sundays. I F around on Common Nerd streams Thursdays and Sundays. You can find those. I F around on Trucker Rob stuff on The Verdant Mint on Mondays. You can all look that up. You'll find out what the time that is if you actually want to see me. And I also do my own streaming. I hadn't done it earlier because I went on vacation because my head was getting way too screwy because of my job. All right, stuff I want you to promote. This is absolutely BS promotion. Stuff I want you to watch. If you're into sci-fi, gentlemen, may I go over and introduce you into Babylon 5? It is a 5-season epic. It is a space opera that's amazing. The first season looks very silly because they did not have any faith in this franchise. But then when you hit season 2, you start to see things start to shape up, and you start to see more momentum. You start to see things getting paid off and everything. And then season 3 hits, and that's when more payoffs begin. That's very, very, very much more interesting. And then you see season 4, where everything gets paid off. Everything. And then season 5, which we do not speak of except for the last couple episodes. Other than that, I'm just thinking of things that I freaking love to watch. I also love to go over and watch Firefly. Firefly is a series that was absolutely kneecapped by its own, not by the team. It was
I
kneecapped by the
meant,
people upstairs.
I'm just realizing this right now. I meant your shit.
I don't have anything.
Because I think, wait, are you covering these movies all in one, all at once? Like, holy cow! Like, oh wait, no, she's saying
No,
go watch.
that's what I meant. I'm like, what do you mean cover merch? I don't make money off of this. I'm just here as a hobby. What do you mean 15 minutes?
Okay. Wow. Give me a moment. Give me a moment. So
Sorry. I'm so sorry. I misunderstood.
Kyle Saber gave me your proper link. I'm posting in the chat now because, well, I've been
Jesus
crazy.
Christ, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. But here's all her live streams that she's on. I just copy pasted.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, I should have. I should have.
I
I thought I was
misunderstood.
clarifying that.
I was just gonna
I thought
talk
Shill
BS
your
for 15
shit.
minutes.
I thought shill your shit, which we all know where I got that from.
Well,
Thanks to JT
that's-
Savage.
You gave me 15 minutes, so I'm like,
Yeah,
that's
I was
within
like,
a minute. They got
yeah,
mad
I
at
know.
me
I
that
was
showed
like,
too
wait a
hard.
minute. It's like this isn't. It's like, where did we get from Trucker Rob to Serenity? It's like she has a movie channel I don't know about. It's like, no, I'm not like.
I misunderstood. I thought I had to fill up a 15-minute time frame.
Okay, so some people just say you can find me on this part. You can
Yeah,
find me here. And then
You
some
can
people,
find me on other people. I don't sell anything. Look
and
for me
some
on my
people
Rumble.
like to
I'm so
give a
sorry.
taste of what their content is like. Like this is like some people offer, like some people say I'm making this book, you know, and they'll show their books. Like if you buy now, here's a Kickstarter. I'm like, okay, you can do that. It's whatever you want to talk about for 15 minutes. Give people a taste of what your content's about.
A little bit, because I was just talking about how I felt about some movies, but
Yeah.
I don't. Besides from things I make, that's it. I just do my own Rumble, and I show up on other people's stuff. That's it.
Yeah, that's it. It's very interesting.
I'm
No,
so
serious.
sorry.
I was like, wait a minute, someone's gonna try to frame this as in I'm allowing her to say that Serenity owns Serenity.
He owns Firefly. No.
Like, okay,
I thought I
that's
just had to fill out 15 minutes of stuff I liked.
yeah,
Sorry.
that's fine. But anyways, so this is also I think I told you this. I'm pretty sure I told you this. You can correct me if I'm wrong here, but I started streaming just like I said, because someone pissed me off when they said there's no good games.
Mhm.
And then people kept asking me for more and more games, my thoughts on games, if I knew of any other good games to play, which led to Dragoncast, where everyone that's been a guest or a regular panelist on my show at the end of the stream, I asked them to do what I do every day, which is recommend a good game. The rule is it can't be no older than 10 years old. It can be upcoming future. It can be released now. It could be a card game. It could be a tabletop. It could be a game that's on Steam, or it has to be a game. That's all it has to be, right? And just tell them why people thought they were interesting, because it's kind of like, when you're a kid and you go to Walmart and you saw Mario Bros. On the shelf, but you couldn't afford it right now, but you found it interesting. It could be interesting because you like the colors. You could be interesting because you think it has good mechanics. But the only rule is you cannot have played it already. So were you able to find one?
Those are a lot of limitations.
It's supposed to be a challenge, yes.
All right. Well, I happen to manage to pull that off.
That's good.
It's in my Steam library. So I was originally going to go for it and say, before I knew about the 10 year limitation, you bastard. You did not include that in
Oh, I
your
thought I did.
original.
Yeah, because it's easy to say Skyrim, and that's 15 years old.
But I played Skyrim. What I hadn't played was. Oh, no. Can I not even find it anymore?
Ladies and gentlemen, this is why I read Niche Gamer. Niche Gamer is my friend. They're always promoting a new game article every day. Which is like most of my here's a new game coming out video is literally a Niche Gamer game, which I'll be getting back to. It's just been a chaotic few months, and finally the grandpa funeral thing is starting to slow down. They actually recognize my grandpa's will, which means my mom will get the house.
Won't or will?
They will. He didn't go through the proper channels and stuff, and his attorney is an old piece of shit. So it was just his handwriting and not properly notarized. So the court had to verify that was my granddad's handwriting. I was like, "Are you fucking nuts?"
Wow.
Like, I literally was I literally nearly pierced my tongue. But now I no longer have to go down there, which means I can make more video content.
That's good. Well, before I knew about the 10-year limit, I was going to suggest Planescape Torment. But because I know the 10-year limit, I will suggest. Oh, there's two. Well, I guess I'll go. It's a mix between Robocop and Stray.
Whatever you want to show.
Well, I would go over now, say, just from remembering the
if you want to do break the 10-year limit, because I forgot to tell you that, I will allow it this one time.
All right, so the first
as long as it was one you played, that's the I'm not dropping.
I haven't played this one. Planescape Torment. It's actually something I remember that the Spoody one back when he was making.
Do you have it for screen share or the link so I can screen share?
Jesus Christ! I have to make sure I'm not screen sharing. I don't have.
You don't have to screen share. I can screen share it for you. It's just
go over and look up on Steam Planescape Torment. Because that's essentially something that
This is payback for inviting you on, isn't it?
I told you it was a bad idea. I'm a bad person to interview.
Planescape Torment?
Yes. It's a very old game.
Yes, I can tell from the
CGI, art. Which
just the cover art.
Reboot makes that look old.
No, just looking at the box art. When I pulled it up, I'm like, oh yeah, this is old.
I think it's older than
the box art as the game's age. It's old.
Well, you can go over and show the audience.
Okay, so.
Yep. Very old, and from how it sounds, this is when a lot of quirkiness was started to get into the D&D sphere in a good way. A lot of humor, but also a lot of
it's not that old.
That's a re-release.
Okay.
That's when it got released on Steam. This was back.
Fair enough.
This was back when Spoody One was going from recommending games. Apparently, you're playing a character that is covered in scars and tattoos, all from his many, many lives he's lived. And he just doesn't remember what they all are. And so he has a very, very unique motley crew, because it is taking place in the Dungeons and Dragons multiverse, where, in old school terms, everything's fair game. You can run into freaking Zeus in old school D&D multiverse. It's just the thing.
Oh yeah, the Celtic gods were a pantheon as well.
Yeah, they had all the gods, every single god in the multiverse of D&D. You could run into You can run into the Egyptian gods. You ran into all of them when you go multiverse. 1999. So
this would actually pass for 10 years or older, or 10 years or younger.
From a small indie company. But yeah, that's this is a game I've been meaning to play because it sounded very unique. You're playing a character who is he's lived a whole bunch of lives, can't remember them, and you're trying to figure out what that is. And it makes sense because instead of you being like a piece of clay that you're allowed to go over and meld, you've already lived a life, and you're now deciding what to make of it. From a little bit from how it sounds, because you have amnesia, you can basically become any character you want. But it sounded very interesting. This game, this is a I had to lob it from 97 floppies. 4 CDs. You guys don't remember this. Some games were so complex and so thick. You needed to have 4 CDs. You had to
Flowers
install
Like
it
the Old Republic was 6 CDs, if I remember. I had to install.
Yeah.
That was just Knights of the Old Republic, and that game, when you play it now compared to modern RPGs, is
It's better.
empty. Like, it's empty. The game is empty compared to modern RPGs.
I would also say it's better because it actually gives.
Oh yeah, the content is better. Mechanics was based on 3.5 D&D. It was 3.5 D&D all the way through.
Like 3.5 DD, like a lot of the stuff, if you automated it, it's not that annoying. It's a very amazingly good system.
Yeah, it's a really good. I love that. I love that edition better.
But yeah, if you guys want to get into old school, this is a game I've never played before, but always wanted to, never got around to it. So Planescape Torment.
Yep, and since it was re-released in 2017, I would have actually counted that as 10 years old or younger.
It's not even a re-release. It was just put on Steam on 2017.
Yeah, but no, that like the release date is. I'm probably going to have to clarify this for future endeavors. If the release date is from 10 years ago or newer, it counts. If it's 11 years old and older, no, because it's a cop-out. Because we can all pull out really great games from way back in the day. But I will allow a re-release or even a remaster. Because if I'm going to allow a remaster that's good, I'm going to have to allow a re-release. Because it's only fair.
I don't even know if it's a re-release. Well, it was just put on Steam.
Yeah, it was put on Steam. I would count it as a re-release. Because it's re-released back into the market.
The other one was a cat thing, so shows you my two dichotomies of cats and D&D.
Yep. So lately, I got the No Man's Sky bug. I've been playing No Man's Sky for a while, but I love sandbox games where I get to just run around, be a loser in the Conan universe, to a corporate drone trying to pollute the planet and build things satisfactory. You know, like I like sandbox games. You know, where I had total freedom to do whatever I want within the confines of the game. And well, I'm loving No Man's Sky. This is another great game. Starfield has its charms. Like when it comes to storyline, Starfield sucks, but I like the shipbuilding element of Starfield. So I like the ship's art style. Like that's one of the only things I like about Starfield is the shipbuilding in the ships. I don't know why it is, but I love it. But I wanted more, and well, No Man's Sky gave it to me. But I also really like fantasy games more than sci-fi. Like I'll play fantasy over sci-fi any day. And this is coming out. It's to be announced. But it's from the same makers of No Man's Sky.
I gotta go use the restroom again. But I'll be right back.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
All right.
That looks cool! Fuck! Show them the screenshots first!
It's an enhanced edition being done something or other with it. As long as it's not woke, I don't care. If it's good, it's good, right? All right. So we'll just wait a little bit momentarily. She's gonna be back. You know what? We'll fix this. I think we can fix this.
Okay, hold on.
So apparently it's the enhanced edition, according to what
Did
has
they
been
add
out there.
in a trans character? I don't recall that in original baseline Baldur's Gate. I believe 3 characters they added in for
No,
baseline
they
Baldur's Gate.
enhanced editions, so the
Enhanced
re-releases.
edition, yes. They gave us the Wild Mage chick. They gave us the monk dude, and they gave us the evil orc. Wah, wah, wah.
Yes.
But I don't remember trans. I know that the orc can be gay.
Orcs are gay in general, anyway. So just saying.
What? From the amount of half orcs, I mean.
So if you play No Man's Sky, you know you travel on the planets, you build your own spaceships. You could be you could be a pirate. You can literally be anything you want. You could be a trader. You can go be a bounty hunter. I'm kind of being a bounty hunter kind of thing, but at the same time, I'm accidentally sometimes involved in piracy because I mistake a ship for a pirate ship. I'm not kidding. I actually do mistake it because I can't read it very well. It'll say Raider frigate, and then I'm like, okay, here we go. We're gonna hijack a pirate ship. Let them know how it feels. And all of a sudden, you're engaged in piracy. I was like, what? No.
Radar frigate was actually Radare Frijar. It was an actually honorable empire that you attacked.
Yep. But here's the thing: it's like I thought this was pretty cool because it's for the same creators. The only thing that pisses me off is like I want to ride a dragon, but they get dragons wrong. Everyone seems to get dragons wrong. It's not 2 legs and wings; it's 4 legs. And the front 2 legs are actually claws, and then wings.
Wyverns.
Yeah, they're wyverns. Wyverns. But people like to go with that one. I'm like, no. But as you can see, it looks pretty cool.
It has pretty good graphics. It honestly, at least from this highly produced screen stuff, it looks more solid than other medieval things. I would like to see actual game footage just to know if that's actually what it feels like. Because let's be fair, when they show the Conan stuff, it looks epic, amazing, and then you play actual Conan and people are making dick towers. So,
well, I think this is actual in-game footage.
well, there's a way you can curve. You can have in-game footage and still cheat.
Yeah, no, I agree. I didn't understand, but the reason why I'm willing to give them a chance because it's to be first off, it's to be announced. It's not it's not out yet.
At least they're not early alpha.
Yeah. They will be.
Oh God.
Okay, it's to be announced, right? Right now, it's single player and online co-op and family sharing. So it's PVE. I'm big on PVE, not PvP. I'm not. I can't do PvP. Anyways, so it's from the makers of this game.
Made by No Man's Sky, so it might be buggy, but it'll eventually finish its promises, like a bad date.
Yeah, and No Man's Sky, I haven't played it when it was a buggy mess. I played it only recently, and it's really good. I like it. Like, there's still bugs in the game. There's still a lot of bugs in the game, don't get me wrong.
That's why I can't trust it, just because, again, from how mad Az was, because he was a big supporter, and then when it first came out, it's just like, what the fuck is this shit? Basically. But he said it in a much more nicer way.
Yeah. And I understand ads on that part, but to be fair, they were an indie company and they did promise to do better. and they kept their word. No Man's Sky today is a lot better than a buggy mess it was back when
Well,
it came out.
we will see with
Yeah.
no light, no fire. If
Yeah.
it is
I'm
around
hoping
on,
they've learned their lesson.
if it's
And
around on par with No Man's Sky in terms of the lack of bugs, or at least is it playable? Is everything make sense? Is it a good game on day one? Then we will learn whether or not this company learned its lesson, because this is a trial by fire for them a little bit, because
yeah, because
No
the
Man's
first year was
Sky, I still think of it. I've never played the game, but I do know it's disastrous launch and kind of the bad practices. So if they show that they actually did this correctly,
yeah.
good on
That's
them.
what I think that's what I'm thinking. I literally when I saw it's like, oh, this is like No Man's Sky Fantasy Edition. It's literally the same thing, different genre.
I
Which
like your hard helmet, except the rabbit people.
yeah. So it'll be interesting to see. Like I do agree, but I do think that they're gonna. I'm based on their failed launch and then working hard to earn player trust and actually having a well devoted fan base from that. I'm willing to give them a chance.
You can.
Yeah. So, but also I just really want a good dragon flying game.
You're only
really
going
do.
to get that with Ergos Draconis, and you know it.
Yes,
You
I know.
You know
I
Divinity will
know.
only give you the best dragon flying simulator.
And even that one was a wyvern.
It was wonky, I will admit.
Like I was really disappointed with the Dragonborn DLC because I expected more because we came so far from the Echo Draconis days, only to find you just do a shout and it's just a fast travel with the dragon.
You're
That's
kind of
all
like
it is.
a dragon.
You don't fly. You don't do. There's nothing cool about it. But no. So that's my thing. And we did do your
Planescape.
yeah Planescape, and we also said where you're coming from. For everyone else, we
And
did
I am
go-
sorry, I did completely misunderstand that 15 minutes.
Oh,
I'm like,
no,
oh,
that's okay. It was just we were in a rush, and I knew that I didn't want to overwhelm you with things because you just got back off of vacation, and I know from your past you're really busy with your job, so I didn't want to stress you out with anything. Plus, I'm also still running around back and forth. Like I said, I'm hoping that's done now, but it's been a crazy week. Let's just put that way for everyone.
That's a rough thing to go over and take care of things post.
I mean, it was very awkward too because I forgot to send you the link, and I sent you this morning. And usually I send that.
It's Nerd sometimes sends me the link like 10 minutes before we have to get going. I'm used to last minute.
Yeah, well, that's Nerd. He's half-time thrown out of his gourd. I'm
No.
kidding, Nerd. I love you, man. I love you, but yeah.
I'll smack a dragon.
Yeah, with another dragon. But anyways, so for me, I will be streaming tonight as usual. And then we're gonna have the Red Shirts debut episodes. If you want a sneak peek on that, I did post a tweet on it. So because we're celebrating Jump Space, for those who want to watch that, it's at 10 p.m. Usually somewhere between 9 to 10 p.m. Central, 10 to 11 p.m. Eastern. So we start every night. I don't want to mention who's coming on
Oh dear.
Saturday because he hasn't responded yet. And I need to see if he actually got my DM. I'll tell you later, Sunker, because you might you know him. I need to see if he's got my DM. Yeah, you know him. Trust me, you know him. But other than that, yeah, we have also Baz Inc. with Kyle Saber on Wednesdays. So every day's a gaming day. But if you haven't already, no, it's King Bob from the Despicable Me.
Alright.
Oh, no, that's not the one. That's not the one. Hold on. That's not the one. I'm sorry. I thought I highlighted your thing. Because I want to make sure people give you. Here we go.
It's fine. If they don't notice me now, they're not.
If you have a Rebel account, because she's not on YouTube, And no, she's not a big Rumble revolution. She just wanted to go on Rumble at the time. Go give Sunker a follow and see if her content's something you would enjoy. I usually lurk, but occasionally I let her know I'm there, and she's fun. If you don't want to do that, you can always catch her on When Who Was Good on A Common Nerd. But that
And Is It Good on Thursdays with Common Nerd.
oh yeah, and Is It Good? There's another one. I think,
We're doing Aliens Earth. It's such garbage.
yeah, Aliens.
Aliens Earth.
Uh,
They made a TV show. It's kind of like a sci-fi
Yeah, I
TV
know.
show that they would ever include in Aliens to go over.
I at this point, I think Nerd is trying to torture you. I'm so
Yes.
sorry.
Well,
So sorry.
you ever
Actually,
see
no, I'm not.
someone?
I would've done
You
the
ever
same.
see a tormentor? You ever see a tormentor's like, I'm gonna let you pick what I hurt you with, and Nerd presented to me with, I'm gonna let the chat pick. Do I torment you with aliens, Alien Earth,
Mhm.
or do I torment you with Peacekeeper? And I'm like, why do I keep showing up on your show?
Here's two. If you would have told me
Why am I here?
10 years ago, not 20 years ago, not when I was a kid, 10 years ago, if you would have used that, I would have heard the words aliens and Disney in the same sentence.
Oh.
I thought you would be a goddamn liar.
Well, it was made by FX originally. It was straight up made by FX, and then once
Yeah.
they all got bought out, this thing was still sitting in a cavern somewhere.
Yeah, but he's not wrong. It is the new Disney show.
It is. It's
It-
garbage.
Just remember, both the Predator and the Xenomorph. Actually, no. The Queen Mother from Aliens is now the Disney princess. She is now a
No.
Disney princess.
No,
The modern generation Disney princess.
no.
Yeah, she is. She really is a princess.
No.
But anyways, go give her a like, go give her a follow, go follow her content, and see if you like her gaming content. Trust me, she's my version of me in my view, where I just want to
Oh,
go find a
dear.
place to chill. No, where I want to go chill and not worry about things. When she's on, I just pop in
That
the
is-
chat and lurk.
That is true. I do just kind of blather and be an idiot. And I have been trying to get less drunk normally.
Yeah. And I think you're doing good. But
Thanks.
anyways, for everyone else, we are going to end the stream and see y'all next week. And happy gaming, everybody.
See you later.
You're still here. What? You thought there'd be a post-credit scene or something? This isn't a Disney movie. Show's over. Go get some sleep. Play a video game. Watch another YouTube video. I gotta take care of the dragon wing and possibly get some sleep myself. Goodbye all, and thanks for watching. And happy gaming.